This program is rated MA. It contains adult themes, coarse language, sexual references, and violence.
All right, what's up, everybody? It is Friday. It's Open Comms, and we're back. It's the crew. I'm Drayden. We got Dirt. We got Rain. We got Brisk. Did McLeod
What up?
leave?
Oh, I'm like, what
Fucking here, bro.
Oh, I don't have.
Jesus.
There you are.
Dragged
Okay,
me in here.
I
You dragged me.
thing down a little bit.
You dragged me in here.
I knew I
like,
dragged you in here.
expecting.
I didn't,
Oh,
I didn't chain you in here though. I had the thing cropped where it didn't show your name on the. Anyway, McLeod's here. How's it going?
I'm good, bro.
Oh, okay. Good start. Yeah. So, patch out. Patch is out.
Have you guys done anything with the new patch?
Is it a patch or is it a release?
It's
No.
a,
No.
Is
It's
it
an expansion, guys.
It's an expansion.
Did you guys try anything with it yet?
With what?
I have not.
The new patch?
I did.
I did.
Fuck yeah.
What'd you
I
do?
did.
What'd you do?
I logged in to get some fucking skill points.
I got
That's
blown
not
up in my first solo PvP Abyssal site.
Nice. What'd you
Nice.
fly in?
So I've been running Sutonia's Sacrilege fit. So it's basically a 5-bill Sacrilege and
Oh,
actually like a 4-bill
you
Sacrilege,
lost that?
like a 5-bill Asclepian clone. So here, this is the funny thing. So I run through this site. It was fine. It was easy. It was a dark site. I've been doing 1,000 of them. And you get in, and I'm waiting, and I'm the first one in. So I'm like sitting there, and I'm all right. I got my drones out. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go. What comes in? But another Sacrilege with exactly the same fit that I had.
Oh, no. So it was just like
So we
overheating.
just sat there back and forth, webbing each other, shooting. And then finally, he had a Abyssal NOS that I had a regular NOS. His NOS was a little bit better than mine, and he neutered me out first. And then I died. But the funny thing was, I looked later, and he left the site with all my loot and my corpse, was headed back to Jita and got ganked on the gate and died.
Oh
So
my
that was-
god.
That was
Did your
pure
corpse drop?
karma. My corpse did not drop,
Oh,
so
nice.
he lost my
Saved.
corpse, which sucks.
I thought for a
So there
second
you
you
go.
were going to be in that situation where like one of you is at the loot and one of you is at the the exit.
No, unfortunately, we were both staring at each other. But I will say, whichever tornado guy and his buddy ganked this guy on the gate, that was a good gank. I appreciate it.
By the way, we got Laser Clear here dropping by again. Laser, tell everybody where you're from again.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen.
Tell everybody
Where
where
you
you're from
from?
again.
Oh, sorry, I am actually one of the FCs from the Bastion, as well as a XO for House of Tyrell inside of the Bastion.
See, there you go.
Oh, nice.
I have a little spill on some of these patch notes too, because
He's like,
What is it? What is it?
That good, huh?
So with the new patches, of course, came the new structures, right? Everyone was so excited for the new jump bridges with no fatigue and Sino beacons that are, watch list accessible. But what CCP didn't include in the notes for all of the structures is that they're supposed to be 200 kilometers away from any other upwall structures for the Sino beacons. So let's use those for instance. What's not in there is that they have to be 1,000 kilometers away from any moon warp-in, any planet warp-in, any TCU, and any iHub. So any Fortizar that you had set up on a grid nicely with your TCUs and stuff like that, you can't use any of that grid for modules to be protected by that Fortizar. So a lot of the old faction Fortizars and stuff that are in space that people use as like a central for that system are now structures.
I don't think.
Is anyone gonna pack them up and move them, or do you think they'll just
was gonna say, I don't think Guardians of the
Well,
Galaxy has that problem.
Part of the
Are
aspects.
you?
Yeah, part of the issue there is like, you know, it's the majority of the really good aspects of the faction forts are in the rigs that are in them. So
Yeah, are you going to pack up a priceless rig in a faction fort as R and move it, or are you going to blow up a however many billions of ISKs in that TCU that you've got there, like, or the iHub, excuse me? Oh, God.
Or why don't you just drop another fort somewhere and then put the stuff off of that?
No, let's drop another 10 bill over on another grid in the system while there's
you
already
poor or
a faction
something?
fort
Like-
Well, I
there.
mean, it's like, well, hold on, you know, how many hundred? Did you say how many hundreds of billions? You got to look at it as, you know, just sort of a trade. You know,
How many
it's
trades are we
trade-off.
putting up?
You already
Yeah,
spent 20 bill on all the BPOs, right? So
30 BPO. 30
No
bill
pours allowed.
per
Of
set.
course. And yeah, I was signaling.
Yeah,
I was signaling poor shot. Fuck it. It's like.
Oh, hold on.
I've
I'll
had one of those days.
shot with you guys. I've got some Di Serono tonight, so I will do shots as
I
well.
gotta put it
But-
on
You
the
sound
rocks.
super grumpy
Di
though.
Serono on the
Laser.
rocks.
On the rocks.
I sound
we-
super what?
As I say, you sound super grumpy about that, but I understand because we had some ninja patch notes too that came in that kind of fucked us, like me and my friends. So we run burners
what?
and venal,
what
and
happened?
apparently they increased the standing loss when you decline missions. So people like almost burnt some of their
Ooh.
burner characters because like it like I want to say not doubled, but it sounded like people were being really dramatic and saying like it was almost like double.
I thought you couldn't get. I thought you didn't lose standings for dropping a burn mission.
So you lose a small percentage of faction standings, and then you lose corpse standings. Well, if you go below -2
Well,
corpse standings,
For any time you drop, for any time you decline a mission, or if
Yeah.
you decline
Af-
more than
after the
one
f-
mission a certain
yeah,
amount of time.
more than one. So you usually get like the first one free,
Okay.
and then there's some specific ones that you get a decline for free.
Yeah, the burner missions. I thought.
Yeah, but if you want to run the burners and only the burners, you have to decline all the
Oh,
other
yeah,
ones till you get the
right.
burners.
Yeah, that's true.
Gotcha. Anyways, yeah, you know what? We jumped in a little knee deep into some of this stuff. We probably had some some early stuff to just kind of some lightweight stuff to sort of go through. And you know what? Since we whatever, we can either not do that or I'm gonna give a shot to Happy Birthday Blastum, who I think
Oh,
his birthday
yeah.
was Tuesday.
Happy birthday,
Birthday,
Blasphemo!
Happy birthday!
He's
Happy
not
birthday.
here with us anymore. But you know what? Whatever. We still
He's
kind of
here in
remember
spirit.
birthdays and shit. Whatever. Shot
He's
to
here
you,
in
Blastum.
spirit. He was here at this Las Vegas.
I need to numb my fucking neck. Anyways, yeah.
So yeah, I seem kind of salty coming in right in on that really hard, but
Super
that's-
salty, man.
the reason
You
is,
can't go
I'm-
salty. straight
No,
up.
no,
doing-
I totally understand. Like, you prepare for this
the
patch.
people
you read the
having to deal
notes.
with it are the ones that are doing it all. So
Yeah, it's super frustrating. Like you prepare for something and then like it just kind of catches you off guard. Like for that, you're at least like kind of knowing it's new stuff. But like for some other
Yeah.
things that affect the game that no one would know to check, it's just kind of like, oh, whoa, wait a minute.
well, I mean,
Well,
it's not like we
stealth
didn't have
patch
but a
notes
couple
are
of weeks
always
to
a pain in the
prepare.
ass. I mean, stealth patches
not like
are
we
always a pain in the ass. It just sucks when they change stuff without. I mean, I was looking at today, and Sutoni and I think we're talking. I can't remember if it was him or somebody else, but it looks like they did like a stealth nerf to the Damovix or to the Drekovic speed. We're like, wait a minute, I thought this was 180 and it's like 163, and that changes some of the ways that folks were going to use the ship. So, I wish patch notes gotta be.
I think that's what King Ares was talking about out in the audience out there with the Triglavian battlecruiser speed nerf.
Yeah, it's
That they
just-
didn't even
Yeah, yeah.
announce.
Right.
It's
and
just frustrating.
You got you know, and the thing is, it's like, do they think we're not going to notice?
Yes.
We're going to notice. We're nerds.
Yes.
We're going to catch this stuff every time it happens. So it's like, come on, guys. I mean, look, there's a typo in one of the notifications for you've prepared a skill and you're ready to train it. It says read instead of ready. They got like a dozen bug reports because of that today, because we see this stuff and we're going to report it. So it's like, come on.
I mean, it's not like we only had, a couple of weeks to prepare for this anyways, and now, we've prepared grids for certain places for certain structures, and now, well, these are just absolutely useless now. So,
Yeah.
I'm going to go back to something that I said last week because I went through it a little bit on Twitter the other day, and it was because Ashtarothi sent a tweet out about something along the lines of this expansion not having as much fanfare or something along those lines. And then somebody like intentionally tried to trigger me by bringing up, don't get into a debate with Dirk about whether or not this is a fucking expansion. Which I allowed myself to be triggered by. And then we kind of got into a bit of a back and forth out there, about this.
A bit.
Well, it was just some fun as I reiterated my position, but there isn't, for this being an expansion, right? For this being a quote unquote expansion, like there's not a lot of fanfare about this. There's not a lot of there's a lot of little things that are involved with this, and they're like little things that trigger people out there in different places, right? Like there's not like a single unifying thing about this expansion that has everybody either up in arms or wow, this is fucking great, or any of that stuff.
I think the problem was that as an expansion, it's exactly what you said. There's like a bunch of little stuff, but there's not some big overarching new theme that everybody's going to go crazy over. Well, it's not like Abyssal Dead Space or anything. It's just, we got more Abyssal Dead Space. We got more. We have some PvP.
More
we got
structures.
Which is exactly, and right now, while I'm still sober, and I'm telling you right now, I'm getting fucked the fuck up tonight. But I just
when
am.
Don't you? Why do you have
well
to for that?
I don't usually go into it with the plan.
Are we going Britney Spears best?
No, we're gonna go. What was that other one?
I have to.
The girl from Natural Born Killers. Anyways, okay.
Yeah.
We are getting white girl wasted tonight.
Okay, all right, but the whole idea. The last time we heard about what an expansion was in Eve, okay, it was a number of things that went together that had a unifying sort of thing to it, along with kind of like there was like a thematic sort of, net around it, right? Because one of the problems that they were having after they switched from the whole idea of semi-annual expansions, which is what they always used and then they always marketed on their semi-annual expansions and everything, was the fact they lost that when they went to every 5-week releases and things like that. And then when Seagull came back, or when Seagull kind of like put in there, that, okay, you know what, we're going back to these expansions that happen when we have enough material that should be bundled together, we will. And the first one, of course, was Citadel, where they had both the introduction of the Citadels as well as the capital rebalancing and changes to fighters and all that kind of shit that went on at the time, right? Which is why this one here, it's like, it doesn't actually match to what it was that was said. And I know Brisk last week, that you said that there was, well, it's a new time. It's like, a new executive, it's new executive producers, like, new things that, I haven't necessarily heard that anything has specifically changed between what they consider to be expansion worthy and, and all that. But this is somewhere between a release and this is somewhere between a large release and an expansion, but it's not really an expansion. And that's why I think like so much of the stuff out there is kind of all over the place because there's nothing unifying here.
And I'm not going to argue with you. I mean, look, if they had asked me and they did, but I can't tell you what we talked about. But from my perspective, if there needed to be more of a big single new thing in this for it to justify being an expansion. But you know what? They want to do the art. We hadn't had one in a couple months. There is legitimately enough new things in there that I think that they can call it an expansion without it being, laughed at. But at the same time, it's not as big as some of the past. It's not as big as Into the Abyss was. It wasn't as big as Lifeblood or some of the other ones in the past. I had more, focused stuff in it. But I think the structure changes are pretty significant. The addition, the new Abyssal stuff has been very well received. The PvP stuff has been well received. So, I mean, a lot of the other changes are relatively minor, but they're also stuff that people have been asking for a while. They iterated on the ECM, which frankly, everybody told me was never going to happen. At CCP, they're going to take away ECM and then they're not going to do anything about it for 10 years. And a month later, they buffed some of the ECM shifts. So, I mean, I think that shows me that they're willing to come back and say, all right, we did something. We're going to iterate on it. We're going to make some changes in a short amount of time. That's a good thing.
Yeah, it was I don't. It's hard to say though, because it's like they added enough new stuff that maybe that's where they're getting out of the expansion side. But none of it was like new categories. It was like you say, it's expanding on already existing things. So, I mean, what would that make it? Because it's definitely bigger than just like it's not like an update or something like that.
No, it's not, and that's why
I mean,
that's why
call
it's
it
like
release, but
That's why I think it's legit.
a
to
release
call it an
expansion, or what
Yeah.
I think was the joke I kind of made it about it. It's like it is something in between, but again, there is not that kind of unifying sort of thing to it because
well, it
if
didn't have
you-
like what you were saying that like you call them Jesus features. It didn't have like some
no,
new,
no,
like
but
holy shit.
we
this.
haven't been dealing with with what the term used to mean in terms of Jesus features for a long time. So let's not use that now because it does have a meaning. But what was the way I kind of put it? That this was Into the Abyss Part 2. Like
Right, and that's legit. I think that's legit to say
right
that because that was the biggest news.
Somebody out there made the point that
I think that
it expands upon the game, therefore it is an expansion. Well, it's okay. Well, we know that that's not the definition of an expansion.
I think that what they were trying to get at more is last year at eVegas, they went with the whole, we're revamping all of moon mining, which was a lot bigger thing to a lot of people because of Alliance incomes and the way that changed the game. They made it a lot bigger not this past Vegas, but the Vegas before. In this Vegas, releasing the new structures for jump bridges and sino beacons and things like that. I think that they meant for that to become the new patch, but it's really still a revamp on an old thing, even though it's new structures. So I think that that's what they were going to go with the expansion, quote unquote, rather than just being a patch or an update.
And by the way, I wasn't trying to rehash my definition of what an expansion is and whether this is or whether this isn't, as much as saying that I think because there were a bunch of different things that kind of applied to different people in certain ways, right? It's like obviously the new
Almost
structures don't apply to anybody but nullsec. The stuff that is revolving around abyssal space definitely applies to I think more people than the structures do necessarily, but certainly to a different crew of people. Like you've got a bunch of people who are bitching about different things, like kind of all over the place, rather than what we have been experiencing. I want to say, definitely over the last couple of years, where it tends to be the bitches come from all pretty much focused in kind of certain places.
To Araya's point in the chat about wishing they had brought more fans.
So Raya,
expansions, everything. I think that's legit. I think the problem was that this came so close on the heels of Vegas that there just wasn't time to give it the kind of fanfare that everybody wanted to give it. If it had not, if they had done it before Vegas or they had done it a couple months after, like December or January, they would have had time to promote it more. But literally, the team got back from Vegas, got back from TwitchCon, and they were jumping straight into, having to do all the stuff for the expansion. So I think it was just a question of timing. But this has been one of the busier summers for EVE that I can recall. At least in the last couple of years in terms of wars and all kinds of other stuff going on. So,
Isn't that like...
stuff.
Oh, sorry, go ahead. I thought you were done.
No. Go ahead, Drayden, I'm done.
I was just saying, like, isn't that what they usually do, though? They usually come out with, like, the hype at the Vegas thing, and so aren't they used to having all the Vegas releases and then coming back and getting the release on schedule? Like, is this year different than previous years with the Vegas thing?
I think it feels different to me. What was the big news? Vegas last year was Abyssal Dead Space, right?
Yeah.
And it was a couple months before that got in the game from when they announced it. So I feel like they had more time to do that.
They didn't announce Abyssal Dead Space last Vegas. I'm trying to think of what they announced.
Was it FanFest?
Wasn't it Moon?
It was
wasn't
Fan
it
Fest.
Moon mining
Fan
last
Fest.
Vegas?
Oh yeah,
Fan
Moon Mining
Fest.
was Vegas. Moon Mining was last year's Vegas.
Right.
Yeah,
The new-
Athenors. It was the Athenors and the Tataras and the Moon mining revamp.
Okay. All the stuff blends in together.
it did feel. I will say this, talking just quick talking about the timing is that typically right after FanFest, I don't think that there was kind of a large thing necessarily, and especially when they were talking about a number of these things like those the flex structures. Is that what they're referred to as, the flex structures?
Flex structures.
Right.
Anyways, the navigation structures. those were supposed to be for winter, right? So I think the fact that they actually came up in November was maybe a little quicker than people even expected. And I don't know if that was intentional on CCP's part, or they're just like, hey, we got them, let's throw them, let's do this shit as of November.
I mean, it sounded to me, at the summit, they announced, I mean, you can read the CSM minutes at the summit, that was beginning of September, and it seemed like a lot of the stuff was already in the can. They had finished coding it and was ready to go. They were just doing minor balance type stuff at that point. So, I mean, I think it was ready to go. I also think they wanted to clear the decks because I think the War Deck thing became a bigger deal, and the same team that's doing, all of the Abyssal, well, I guess you shouldn't say all the Abyssal stuff. The same team that's doing all the structure stuff is handling all the War Deck changes. So they had to get this stuff off their plate now so they can start working on that, because that's going to be a long 6-month plus process, even though they are doing the Citadel stuff in December.
There was a little bit on the patch notes about, well, actually no, I don't think it's the patch notes. I think it's on the actual Eve updates site where they said like additional kind of changes when it comes to the the initial war declaration kind of changes in December. Like, is that literally like, is there anything there that you can speak about, or is it all NDA?
It's all, it would all be NDA, but even then I can tell you,
It's nothing
right now, we
concerning.
don't know much more than has already been announced. We have not gone into detail on anything. But I mean, at the end of the day, I'm looking forward to hearing about it. All I hear right now, basically, the War Deck stuff to me is the guys are working on it internally. They haven't got anything that's ready to give to the CSM for us to look at yet. So I've basically just been talking to the War Deck crews on their Discord and everything like that, and I'm getting really tired of it because it's just circles. It's round and round in circles every time.
I mean, I think that's a good point though. Like, a lot of people have heard a lot of things from obviously years past, like, what was it, like shield slaves or whatever, like everyone cries about. But there's also things that we've heard recently, like Logion kill mails, and then we've heard CCP talk about a new kill mail system, and then changing war decks or slightly tweaking war decks so they can be replaced. And so like we hear all these things, everyone gets really excited, like, oh my god, this is coming, and then we get an expansion, and then everyone looks at it and they're like, okay, well, some of these are quality of life, some of these are really neat, like the Abyssal stuff, and then people are like, okay, but like, where's the other half of what we were promised? And it's just really disheartening, like seeing like this expansion and then knowing that, as CCP it reiterates, usually they're like small patches, like quality of life changes or like small tweaks, nothing like major, whereas these things we see as major. So it's like, okay, what, we have to wait another 6 months before we ever hear like war decks again? Like, or is that coming out in December?
Well, that's the thing. That's the hard part, is that they've got their own long-term planning that they've already had. I mean, look, the whole player created Stargates, all that kind of stuff. That was Seagulls from back in 2015. I mean, that was the end of her 5-year plan, or whatever you want to call it. And they're still wrapping that up. They're trying to get rid of all the old POS structures to get that code out of the game, because that code is spaghettied everywhere. Once they get that out, they can do a lot of stuff. That all feeds into the 64-bit client that's supposed to be coming out this fall, or this, I guess, winter time, whatever. Winter, it must be like 6 months or something in Iceland, because everything seems to be winter now. But 64-bit client is supposed to come out. They got War Deck changes in December. They promised that for spring as well. So there's a lot. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that's on the radar. And then, of course, you're absolutely right. Shield slaves we talked about. The Logion kill mails, a kill mail system being revamped. That was supposed to. I mean, that, as far as I understand it, at least I think it was in the minutes that we talked about it. In September, that this was basically almost completed. So it's one of these things where we're trying to figure out. I think. They're trying to do as much as they can, but there's a lot of stuff going on, a lot of different teams doing a lot of different things, and I think that makes it harder to figure out where all the stuff is that we've been promised on in terms of what the status is. So I've asked, one of the things I've asked for is more communication. Just let's talk more, tell us more about updates and where things are, and if you got to push stuff off, then don't be afraid to say we got, this was the priority. It was overtaken by events. This is now the priority. This will be the priority after this one, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But it's just the nature of the stuff. Everything changes.
You guys mentioned the Logi being on kill mails and stuff like that multiple times over the last little bit, and I wanted to touch on that a little bit because I've seen instances where there have been non-Logi ships on kill mails where the ships weren't even there present at the time. Just my experience was killing Pocos in the system. One ship was on the first Poco kill, then an hour later we went to go kill the rest of the Pocos, and said person had even left. But said person's ship showed to the next Poco kill mills like they were there shooting at him with this, just with no damage. So still some bugs and stuff in that, and I'm missing a shot right now, so I'm going to go ahead and I'll
sorry.
take my
That was-
shot.
No, while you're
shot.
talking,
We
you don't
didn't
have
want to
do a
interrupt
shot,
you.
But once you stop talking, then you have to take a shot.
Also, before I forget, Astrian and Badwiz, thanks for the subs, and Shooter, thanks for the resub. 9 months. His subscription baby is due.
Hey, I do want to jump back just real quick and just kind of throw this out there. I'm going to call that shot for the fact that Total Eve is back fucking up again.
Yeah.
I want to thank Wiggles and fucking Mad Dog for making that happen and figuring out all this shit. Because I'm gonna be honest. I do not have my bookmarks with it. Ever since we designed Total Eve, I sat there and like got rid of all my little bookmarks, and it's like I don't feel like typing in freaking URLs and shit like that to go find out whether or not there was a new thing. So Total Eve is like my desktop for like where news pops up and where like the new Reddit posts pop up, because I don't fucking actually go to Reddit, but and all that kind of stuff. But, we've actually moved some stuff around out there as well. Like we at one point, like not long ago before it went down, we like had to move Eve News 24 the fuck out of like the thing because their shit hadn't been updated since July, and then after we moved them, like they fixed their fucking thing. But Crossing Zebras has now also been pushed way the fuck down, and like other things that are like more current. Anyways, this is where kind of like the newest information kind of comes out from a bunch of different sites out there. I'll actually throw it out in the thing, but whatever. That's my desktop for like figuring out where the news is and shit like that. So I don't know. I know a bunch of people use it, but I was
Totally
actually
awesome.
kind of like flying in the fucking dark for some of the stuff there for a couple of weeks because shit got fucked up with hosting, and now it is solved. Total Eve will live longer than I will.
Oh god.
Now.
Why are we putting 100? Like, I don't do the deployment stuff, so I wouldn't know Goon Spy.
But so that's what my last shot was for the fact that that's fucking back up. I also want to quickly get back to the whole idea of I'm sorry because I know we've got a bunch of stuff that we can talk about this release expansion that came out this past Tuesday, but I do want to throw some smaller things out there just sort of real quick. I want to congratulate Tappy for being the first to deploy a what the fuck they call it, a Ferrolux, an Electrolux Sino beacon in New Eden. Fozzie threw that out there today. I actually would have liked to have known who was the first pilot to jump through it. What kind of ship were they in? Were they, did they just get fucking Titan bridge through in an Ibis or something? But whatever. Tappy was the first one of those to put it up. And then I heard after the fact that system got fucked up by an incursion.
Oh, sucks to be that.
It was like 5 hours after, and I'm not confirming this myself. I'm just saying that I heard that 5 hours after that went online, an incursion hit the system.
Oh shit.
Which is, that's just totally fucking Eve, right?
That is totally fucking.
It's that RNG.
But yeah, so congrats to them for getting that up. And somebody hit me with a tweet out there, like when I asked, asked Fozzie, I'm like, who was the pilot? And what were they flying? And and it's like, OPSEC or whatever.
I'm
the hell.
surprised. I mean, I have to say, I'm surprised he tweeted it since I thought that would have been OPSEC just in general that they put up the first.
You know what? Look, I think when certain things are the first in this game, when an alliance, and in this case, when an alliance puts down, you're the first of the new structures, right? You put that out there. He didn't say where it was. It wasn't a matter of where it is, right? Or who was the first player to jump through the first one of these things. I mean, those are things that can kind of go down in sort of the historical logs.
Well, I mean, CCP would have logs. They should have some.
Oh no, I'm sure CCP knows, but like
I'm surprised they don't have like some
for people who
like
are
a Hall of
interested
Fame
in
thing for that.
kind of like tracking history of things and shit like that. What was the first Titan to die and yada yada.
I totally took pictures of our first Sino beacon onlining and my Titan jumping to it and taking pictures with it. I totally did that and posted it to everyone for everyone to see. So
You guys are like
Total
the
record
people.
moment.
who take selfies or take pictures of their food?
Nope.
No,
Dirk
I do
does.
not do
I
that.
don't.
I do
I
on
don't
certain
do
occasions.
shit.
I don't do it on. I don't do it like every fucking Instagram meal I have.
No.
Are we allowed to link links in the chat or no?
If you have the roles to
you're-
link
no,
links,
just
link links,
X
but-
up really quick, and I'll give you permissions too. Because if you're not subscribed, it won't let you.
But yeah, and by the way, I am trying to shift it back just a little bit
You're
for you
Fista?
because we're
Yeah,
getting a
I'm
little
also-
negative about some things, so I'm trying to
Just
like
making
you
sure
know
it says some other dude.
bring it back to some kind of I don't know, like low level shit that we can like be semi positive about or whatever.
Alright, you should be good.
Total leave, bitches. I know. It looks like the fucking Drudge Report, which is exactly the intention I had behind it. Anyways, hey, Brisk, I think you might be the
Yes.
only one in here that can clear it up. I don't know, maybe Laser Clear or whatever, but or maybe McLeod. What was this story the other day? I think it was yesterday, or it may have been the day before, about a Sisters of Eve station appearing in 1DQ.
I have
That's
no
wrong.
idea about what that was.
You've
that
got
is
me on that
a
one.
bug.
That's
A for some reason a Sisters of Eve station appeared in the middle of 1DQ, and nobody figured it. Nobody knew why it was there, but it confirmed it's a bug. So
Okay, I was going to say
Crazy-
because,
crazy
because
fun
when I
random
logged
stuff
in,
happening.
it wasn't there, and I'm like, "What the?" I'm like, "Wait a second, hold on." I'm like, and now I start questioning my fucking overview. I'm like,
Yeah.
"Has something changed with overviews now that nullsec stations are gone?" Or
They might have sphere.exe'd that shit in there. I don't know.
sphered it in. Okay, all right, so fine. That was bullshit. Speaking about overviews, though. And now we're going to get back onto a negative sort of thing here. Otakashawa out on Twitter hit me back and said, "Talk about how the overview sharing system is broken, so I can update my pack, and as a result, have had way too much bourbon." Okay, yeah, all right.
Oh, I feel you there.
That sounds like a
Apparently
good problem to
overview.
have, honestly.
Apparently, the overview sharing system is also broken. Is that true?
Has it ever
I
worked?
shared.
Fantastic.
I was gonna say I shared my overview with an alt, and I thought it went fine. So
I don't think I've shared an overview in like 4
I don't think
years. I just
I have.
I just
I
make
I
them
know
on
the
the
channels
fly.
I need to go to get my overview.
Maybe-
on
maybe it's
everything,
just
so I
the custom
redo it over and
ones.
over.
yeah, maybe it is the
I don't
custom
know,
ones.
'cause, like,
Well, there's that. Oh no, hold on. There's a function out there for share your freaking.
I know, yeah. You
overview.
can just link it. It's
Yeah,
you
yeah.
just
Yeah,
share
it doesn't share the real custom kind of like colorings and all
Yeah.
that kind of shit though. That's the thing.
It's just
And if you have a lot of stuff there too, it truncates it too if it's over a certain amount.
Yeah.
So
Oh.
Because
I
Otaka,
remember
like
just
if you
to
have one of
join
those-
Otaka
the
is one of the
Sarashawa
premier
channel.
overview builders in EVE
Yeah.
Online.
His
and it's something
overviews
that a
are
lot of-
beautiful.
Exactly. Yeah. So if he's saying it's fucking broken, I'm going to say that yes, it's broken, but I don't honestly know how it's broken. So, if you're listening,
I don't know.
you
My
I'll just fucking
overviews
feed
are
back to him.
super simple. It's like blue overview,
So-
red overview, planets, and that's it.
while we're talking about overviews, let's talk about the new jump beacons and everything, and the jump bridges that you need to add to your overviews. Hey, don't forget about that because those aren't in any of your overbacks.
So
I
they don't
bet.
get default whenever they add, because they've done that before.
Nope.
Like when like new ships and new structures come out, they're. But I think when Citadels came out, they were default automatically added to people's overviews, but other things haven't been. Like when they added the. I think T3 destroyers. I don't think were automatically added, if I remember correctly, and there was a few other things that weren't. So
Yeah, if they're brand new ship groups, then they won't be added by default.
Yeah, you got to go in and look at it.
Sorry, just real quick, because I've seen this a couple times out there when the terms pause code have been used, or when somebody either here on the show or out there in Twitch chat about pause code is just like code word for like they can't figure it out or whatever.
Legacy code.
Like
Yeah.
that's literally what it is. Like
people
when
don't understand passcode at all in
Well,
chat. Like I'm trying to explain
when
it to them, but
when
they're
it
not.
It's
was
not-
when
it's
it
not-
was
it's not
written, the
fake.
people that
This-
are
this
around
is
now
not just
don't know
something
how
to
those
throw out.
people got there. So they can't fix it without actually rewriting the whole thing. I mean, and this
That's
goes
what they're
from the
doing.
fact that they were a company in
That's what I've
2000.
said. Yep. That's what I've been saying in chat, and it's integrated into everything. And the thing is it's a like what I don't know if you want to say homegrown. Like one guy made it. It's had half Icelandic, half English. He got hit by a car on the way to work, so no one knows how to fix it.
yeah, and that's the other thing. Like when you have when you have stuff that intricate, it's like thousands of lines of code, and yeah, you can
Yeah.
maybe have people come in and re-engineer it. But I didn't know it was half in Icelandic, so that that would make it even more difficult.
Yeah, like, well, the thing is no one really knows how it works. So, right, so you have it, and it's obviously integrated into POS, player-owned structures, right? But the fact is it's not isolated to that. It's in everything of the game. So I don't know if people remember, like, I think there was one time, like, CCP came out with a change, and it was like a minor tweak to like a ship stat, and somehow that tweak broke drones. Like, drones just simply didn't work, and they were like, I don't understand what's going on. And then CCPs also have had dev blogs recently within the last couple years where they explain the process of finding a bug, not knowing what's causing the bug, and then trying to follow the trail of how to fix the bug, and it always ends up in POS code. So I mean,
Well,
if
it's
people
one of
want
those
to
things
if
that
people
has
want to sit and
so
talk
many
like they know what they're
right?
talking about, that's
Goonspy,
fine.
this is
but
not
they
a
don't.
show of fucking experts.
No,
Okay.
it's definitely not.
Right? We're
Jesus,
not a show
no.
of fucking
We're
experts.
just
talking about this.
regurgitating what CCP
we're
has
trying.
told us.
We're trying to lay it out there in layman's terms about from
Yeah.
what our understanding is. If you want to go fucking talk to
Yeah.
experts about fucking POS code and
I
what
mean,
it
you
means,
can, yeah,
that's-
you can go
but
talk
the
to
point
them
is-
the
fucking
exact same
experts.
shit. They'll
They
both
have
tell you the
been-
exact same shit.
They have been trying to unspaghetti the POS code since Citadels came out. That was part of the reason for it.
we're not making excuses for them.
It's not
They
excuses.
should,
No.
they should have
But-
never let the shit get the way they did in the fucking first
goal,
place.
the goal is to get rid of all this stuff so it's out of the game. And
which
they're doing it
it's
with
almost
it.
all gone. We're at that point where it's almost all gone. Literally, the only thing that POSs are being used for right now is storing supers and titans, and
Right,
most
and they don't
people
need-
that are
and you don't
using
need
that
anymore.
are low
And
sex
you don't
groups.
need it anymore. So the fact that
Or
you've
people
got
can't
two
afford
stars
a
something like that,
Keepstar.
the problem really is just now that
Low sexually.
they finally got. I mean, yeah, they finally got the last little bit of the code done where you got the cyanojammers and the beacons and the other stuff that was all traditional POSCO stuff. You don't need the sticks anymore. There's no reason to have
And
them.
he said,
So
you're
we're at
advocating
the
don't
point where
push
you're taking
them
that.
too much because pause. No.
No,
It was
we're saying
always
it's taking time, but they're
push
doing it.
them all the fucking time and not accept pause code to be an issue, which is
Well-
exactly why you have Citadels now.
Yeah.
Because the push
whole-
became enough that they had to decide to, if they couldn't fucking figure it out, rewrite
had
the
to change
fucking
it, yeah.
system.
And the
that's what they're
original,
doing. And they're
the
almost
reason-
done. We are
the
like
reason
a year
Go
away
ahead.
from never having to hear about POSCode again.
the reason that they were having like so many issues with POSCode too is because if I remember correctly, the devs that originally wrote the POSCode into the game basically didn't they not speak another native language even, and
They
basically you could
died.
not read the code either, so that
Yeah.
it was almost basically impossible for them to
And
do
there was no
anything with it.
documentation.
It wasn't a
so-
big
The
team
main-
at the
Zero.
time. The guy
The main
died.
yeah, I would
Yeah,
say
well,
the
that-
main advocate of it died. Like he's literally the prime example of like key person risk of like one
Mhm.
person in your company knows everything, and heaven forbid they win the
documentation.
lottery or
Yeah.
G get hit by a fucking car because that's what happened, and it's super tragic, and CCP's
Yeah.
still paying the price for it.
Super tragic. It was like
Yeah.
it
Super
was a
tragic.
tragedy.
It is super tragic.
Yes, it was a super tragic tragedy.
We've lost a lot of CCP devs in the last couple of years. It's really sad.
Yeah, it
There's a
sucks.
few that
Especially
really
the ones
hung
that
through
used
it
to
though.
speak
It's gone through a
POSCode.
lot of pain.
Like it's a language.
Icelandic pause code is something that
It's
you know
like
what
a- yeah,
not
it's like a new-
not every
it's a
not
new
everybody
know,
can speak or
it
program
died-
to.
It died with that one dev that got hit by a car, you know, and then no one spoke it ever since.
Nobody's
man. I
seen
don't know
it
what happened
since.
to it. And we don't have a Rosetta Stone for it or anything, so it's kind of.
Oh my god, Otakashawa just like sent me a fucking wall of text of like stuff. Fuck it.
He's like, Dirk, what the fuck do you say about
Apparently
me, you fucking
overused.
little bitch?
Overviews, motherfuckers. Oh my god. Anyways. But yeah.
Leave
It was not to go down the fucking wormhole of it. Look, this is not the
Wormholes?
fucking
What do you
show
have to say
you
about
come to
wormholes,
for the
Dirk?
deep dark fucking thought about, programming of this fucking game. We just live in it. It's like, we don't ask how the house gets built. Like we do, and then they give us an answer and we tell you guys, and like there's always one smart guy out there that knows how, like, that answer isn't any good, and we're like, all right, whatever, fucking make a forum post or something.
We're not coders, but we're like what the coders at CCP they say this is the problem, and then we just kind of regurgitate that and say like, well, the coders say this is the problem. Other coders might be like, well, that's not a problem. It's like, well,
You can get 27 different
it's a
fucking
problem with
coders in the
CCP.
same goddamn channel. You know what they'll all agree on? It's wrong. But they will never agree on what the fuck
Yeah.
is right.
How to fix it. How to fix the shit.
well, it's because there's like, I mean, there's usually like a dozen different ways to do something. I would assume when it comes to coding.
I thought my cat was in my wife's chair, but it's not. But anyways.
Do a shot.
Ready to shop? Yeah,
hold on,
shop.
All right, whatever. Fuck it. I'll do a shot in a second.
Shot.
I do want to bring up the fact of double training weekend for fucking skill points, motherfuckers.
Can I say I love the Eve player base, but there are times when they make me want to break things. Because I literally had people bitching about the fact that CCP gave us all free skill points for logging in. I mean, it's like they're giving
okay,
you
It's
free
not that they
stuff
did it. It's
that
not
you
that they did
want.
it. We've gotten free skill points before. And you know what, Brisk?
Well-
You know what? I'm sorry. I know you always want to be the positive guy about how we can always solve all things. And there was a part of me that tonight that was debating whether or not I wanted to be fucking bitter Dirk about this or just be like, bitches, don't you like free stuff? Just take free stuff and flow with it. But like, I feel like I need to counter you on this.
You don't need to counter.
It's the
me.
how.
It's good. There's no reason to
So-
counter.
It's the how. We
How-
all
the
love
funny
free
thing is-
stuff. We all love free stuff when the government just brings it to our front door.
There's a lot of people
unallocated
that
skill points. They go onto your guy. You can't trade them. You can't sell them. They are not enough for it to be a huge, massive deal for anybody but the youngest accounts. I think it saved me 17 hours on large precursor weapons 5 or something today. But it's nice.
So-
I like free skill points. It was 100. You get 100,000 for an alpha.
It's-
Or for an omega. That's less than
fine.
one skill
It's a couple
injector for an
days.
80 million plus character.
That's-
It's not.
This is
What's wrong
a
with that?
different way of doing it, right? It's a different. The way I put it is, I feel like we're beta testing a delivery mechanism here because this is different than what they've done in the
It
past
is.
when
It
they've
is.
given out free skill points. Forget the fact that they're free skill points if what you do is just get to your login screen.
I think that also part of this, like a lot of people talk to me from all over New Eden, and a lot of people approached me and said, "So do you know why we're getting free skill points? Like, did they break something again? Like, what went wrong this
that's-
time?
They said it's
that what we're getting
in
skill free?"
celebration of the expansion.
Guys, think about it. Just think about
Well,
it.
they
Okay.
did break skill points the other day. They broke the precursor skill training. So if you had one of those in your queue, that now there's a new prerequisite for it. It stopped training your
But
queue.
they didn't go build
So-
this entire mechanism
Guys,
to make
guys,
up for
look,
that.
guys, look. Just think, okay? There's a new expansion. It's got new stuff that pops up when you come in. You got the player tracker.
Activity
You got all
tracker.
that kind of stuff. Maybe they just want people to log in and see that, hey, there's new stuff in the
Mhm.
game. Let's try it and see if
Okay.
I like
Oh my
it.
god. Oh
How
my god.
is
Would,
this-
wouldn't
my
it have
God,
been totally
wow.
wouldn't it have been totally super cooler then if they wanted like to see things in the game that what you had to do was actually get into the game to get those skill points.
You have to get
They've
into the
done that
game to
before.
use them. Otherwise, they're just sitting in your queue, not doing anything. You got to log in.
To
you gotta
use
mark
them?
your queue,
Yes,
you got
to
to
use
apply
them.
the points.
To get them though, to
Well,
get them, you
but
didn't
you
even have to
gotta-
get
what's the
past your
point?
login screen. You'd have to fly through one of their beautiful new jump gates.
You're acting like if you hand me money and I don't put it in the bank, then I didn't do anything with it. I mean, come on.
No.
You know, it's still you got to log into the game to take advantage of the skill points, even if you just collect them. But if you're just going to collect them and never do anything, then so what? That's not a big deal. But the whole idea is to get people to log in,
Okay.
and it's
so,
not daily. It's not something you're required to do something to get it. You don't got to
It's
run
not
a
even get-
stupid mission or kill a ship or anything like
Why not?
agency. So it's good. It's
Why
just
not?
a
They've
Should-
done that
hold on.
metric already,
In,
Dirk.
in,
They do
the
that all
age,
the
in the
time.
age of skill farms and injectors and things like that, shouldn't they have done that? Shouldn't they have sat there and said, "But we want you to do something for it," as opposed to just click all your fucking
Yeah, we
things
want
on
you
your
to log in.
launcher,
I wonder
bring
if they,
everybody in,
Dirk,
even
there's probably a metric they're trying to measure, and then
just
they're
want you
just
to-
trying to incentivize with it. They're like,
trying-
would this be a good
how
incentive?
many people read things?
I don't.
Maybe,
Maybe
maybe
like
they're
how
like,
many-
how mad will everyone get if we give them
Not
free things for
everything-
nothing?
Not everything needs to be this thought out. I mean, honestly, I think it's just they wanted people to log in.
It's a company,
So
man.
let's do it.
Of course,
Why not?
of course, everything should be thought out when you're doing something like this. There is, in fact, a reason to this run.
You don't think getting people to log in is enough of a reason to give out?
I
free
bet
stuff?
their thought process is
you're
like
not-
they know people are gonna log in just for the skill points and then log out. But
So what if they do?
but
They
I know,
still
but
log
hold
in?
on, but hold on. But I bet they know that there's gonna be a number of people that log in, get the free skill points, and then they're like, well, while I'm here, and then they start playing.
There's this activity tracker. Oh, this is cool.
Yeah,
It lets
then
me
they're
do
like,
this
well, I
and
might as
see
well
that I
check
did
out this
that.
new thing. Maybe I'll try this and that. I mean,
That's it. I mean, look, if you get
It's a
past the
hook.
1 minute mark when you're logged in, you're probably going to stick around and do something.
It's a hook.
it's
So
like
exactly what it is,
advertising.
it's a
You run a
hook.
commercial, the vast majority of people in the commercial are gonna be like, God, fuck that thing.
Okay.
And there's a few
And-
people who be like, you know what? Maybe I'll go get that.
And can I also throw this out there? Okay, for the first time ever, and I'm talking literally fucking ever. This is not like me just making up that freaking term. Okay, for the first time ever,
Oh.
they used kind of a verbiage that we're unaccustomed to in EVE Online. double training weekend,
Yeah,
which
they
we
did.
have heard in many other games.
I had assumed that you just
that are not like EVE Online.
Look,
see, like when I heard
I
the
started
first
Maybe
to
thing,
they're
say that
just
the way
late to
that
the
they-
party.
Maybe
I have-
they are
I
late
have
to the
told
party. The
people-
party might be cool.
I have told people that the way that they advertise this left much to be desired.
right? Because I
Because
just
it made
assumed
a lot
that
of
you just
people wonder, what
generated
the hell
twice
is
the
this
base skill
supposed to be
points
about?
over
This
the
felt
weekend.
That's it.
it allowed people to kind of churn up those ideas out there of, oh my god, Pearl Abyss just took over. Guess what? We got one of those normal freaking arcadey
this is-
gamey MMO kind of like
here's
But this
party
is what drives me
weekends.
fucking crazy, guys. They're
Where's-
doing the
where's
same
my
stuff
mining yield
that
weekend?
every other game does. It has nothing
Yeah.
to do with Pearl Abyss. Every other game does this. So
But-
why would they be the only game that doesn't give free stuff to existing customers?
Because every other
Come on.
game's not like EVE Online.
Yeah, but
But
also
that-
here's
that
the thing:
doesn't mean
Iron
they don't
Bank.
want to do some of the stuff that's best practices in the industry.
Well, hold on, Iron Bank
just
just
because
whispered.
we're different.
Iron Bank just whispered me. I think he whispered me because I think he's still banned in
He-
INN. I'm tempted to unban him.
Is he?
Just for the show?
Yeah, I'm thinking about doing that too.
Because someone else banned him,
If I
so I
can- if I
can't
can
leave him
remember what
unbanned.
the
But I might,
Twitch
I might
thing is.
unban him for the show and then I'll have to reban the Iron Bank. But
But
he whispered me. He
What,
said,
who, GigX?
"No, Iron Bank."
Yes, fucking
Oh,
King
Iron
X
Bank.
and
Uh,
Iron Bank.
Those are two completely different people.
Are
yeah,
they?
yeah,
Are
Iron
they?
Jesus.
But
Dun, dun,
no, but
dun.
Iron Bank was saying he's like right next to the login for the free skill points is a buy Omega button, and it's a carrot to get alphas to be like, oh, I can get twice as many free skill points if I buy an Omega subscription. So that's his, he's like, what about that? Maybe. All right, I have to figure out.
Yes,
how
I'm
to ban
pretty
people.
sure that the marketing team wants people to buy them.
Yeah, hold on. And don't get me wrong. We have had free skill points before. This is not something fucking new that we haven't had before and all that kind of shit. You know, it's like part of it was the verbiage that they used in kind of putting it out there, right? Part of it was the methodology by which you had
It's a
to go
slash.
about getting this. It used to be in the past, well, look, we're giving
Yeah,
out
did
free
it.
skill points for those people who were part of this or that or the other thing, okay? And it came out of the database. Here was something where you had to actually like log
That-
in,
but
click
that's-
this
I
thing,
think
drop it
that's
into your
better.
redeem and throw it out to a character and stuff like that.
And I think that that's better because we had a bunch of
agree.
problems the last
That's why
time
I think
when
we're
they ran
testing
this-
a beta module.
when they ran the scripts to get the skill points because of the downtime 6 months ago. It was a giant clusterfuck.
That's not
so
it, Drayden.
glad that they fixed it.
I got it.
Oh, there you go. yeah.
I do, but the exclamation point is the bot activation and the slash is the Twitch command. So I didn't know which one it was.
By the way, I'm glad you did that because my understanding was anybody who did that was going to be banned from INN. So whatever.
Well, I'm gonna ban him at the end of the show. This is just like.
Are
a
you going to
temporary-
re-ban him?
Yeah. Well, I have to. 'cause
Really? See, I unbanned somebody the other day. I did not re-ban them. I just won't do that.
well,
I-
yeah,
I-
but
I believe in
Iron
like, you know,
Bank is someone
people
I
being
think
able to
Matani
earn a
himself.
chance back into the community.
Iron Bank, I think, is someone that Matani himself permabanned from the channel, and so
Really?
if I
So this
leave
goes
him on,
all the way back.
if
to
I
that.
leave him unbanned and he goes on the meta show, it's like sup mittens. He'd be like, who the
What
fuck
up,
unbanned
bro?
this guy? He would go through, he's like search the
Drayden
laws.
says hi.
Yeah, I would be toast.
Be like a fucking bloodhound,
I'd
man.
be
He'll be
like,
coming
y'all,
after you.
y'all need a new button pusher. I'm out. But,
I still can't get over the fact that you guys are bitching about free shit.
I'm
It's-
not
hold on.
bitch. I love free
You
shit.
don't hear us bitching about free shit.
Oh,
Okay,
you're bitching about free
Hold
shit.
on. And I'm sorry. It's like, look,
Rain,
if a welfare
if you
check
think about
came to
free
my
shit-
fucking house,
He's
I
ju-
would
he's just
cash
being
it,
devil's
and I would
advocate,
like not
dude.
bitch about it, but I would still sit there and bring up other things related to how
He's just
welfare checks
whining.
go to people who don't need them.
You're
are
just
winding,
whining.
as McLeod would say.
No,
You love being a devil's advocate, man. Like it's good.
Well,
It's
I'm
fine. It's
actually-
fine. Someone has to say it.
there's a part of me that like it would be super easy to nod my fucking head and go, yes, okay, normal, okay, but this is not normal. This is not a normal thing. And on top of it,
Maybe
they've
it should become a
they've
normal
literally
thing.
built a delivery mechanism for this. So now I would like to know whether or not this delivery mechanism, again, is a test. Are we beta testing something that's coming in the future? Forget the fact that it's free. Nobody gives a shit about skill points anymore. Skill points are fucking low-level commodity bullshit
I like skill
now.
points. I like
Yes,
skill
exactly.
points.
They're low-level commodity bullshit at this
They're
point.
not. They're
They,
good.
they don't have consequence anymore.
They still have consequence, Dirk.
No, they don't.
Yes, they do.
Why? You can buy them with the plethora
Correct.
of freaking
There's
faucet-based
something
is
that
that's
is-
in the
there
game.
is they are a commodity that is so valued that people spend tens of thousands of real life dollars to buy skill injectors to create characters. How can you say skill points don't matter when people are doing that? Come
Because
on.
they're so prevalent that you can just fucking buy
Yeah,
them
you
if
can
you want
get
them.
them,
You can't
but
buy
they're
them.
still expensive.
It's 2
You
days.
yeah,
It's 2 days of
they're
skill
fairly
points.
prevalent.
It's not going to
It's
give anyone a
20
massive
bucks for
significant
each
lead
skill
on
check.
anything. It's just a cool
They're fairly
little, like, here you
prevalent.
go, have fun. Like, you're like
They're-
get a couple levels in the first in the new skills we just put out. on
Anyways, my
us.
pitch is not about free stuff, and anybody who says that, like, anybody who has any issue with this at all is like upset about free stuff. How can you be upset about free stuff? Nobody's fucking upset just about
Yes, they
free
are.
stuff. No, well, I don't want to say nobody
Some
because
are.
there's always that guy out there who's just upset about free stuff. There are other people who have underlying fucking reasons for where free stuff comes from, why it comes from, and all that kind of stuff. This is being portrayed as a celebration of this thing. Yes, literally. Onslaught celebration, double training weekend.
Yes, guys, like what I said, it's not hard. It's a new expansion. You want people to log in and check this stuff out. It's not hard. Give
Now,
somebody free stuff, they log in.
The people that were
Basically.
that were out there talking about, like, oh, they're just trying to, like, jack freaking logins or something. It's like nobody gives a shit. Oh, now that Pearl Abyss is their daddy, they're just
They
trying
don't
to
get
jack
paid by
logins.
numbers.
It's like, oh my god,
Look,
Pearl
this
Abyss
is-
is not some
drives me
freaking
crazy.
equity hedge fund that is sitting there going, oh my god, you had so many logins that weekend. What happened? We don't understand.
This is what drives me crazy. Guys, everything is not a conspiracy theory. And this is one of the things that I find exasperating about e-players because
That's what the
it's
government wants
so
you to think, Brisk. You're
Exactly.
the
So
government,
CCP
okay?
wants you to think,
mirrors
Brisk.
real life that it drives me fucking nuts because it's like, guys, sometimes the obvious answer is the answer. In this situation, there's a new expansion. They want people to see that there's a new expansion. So get them to log in. How do you do that? You give them something free. And at least they were smart enough and they didn't hand out free fucking battleships to people. They didn't hand out free stuff that you can sell.
Do you guys
Tank
remember back in the
market for
day when the new
something.
expansion happened? We logged in because a new expansion happened.
Oh, for crying out
Search.
loud.
Dirk, it's not our
I go
fault
to
you
work
don't
because I
log
Do you
in
love
and
guys
play the
remember
game,
back in the
okay?
old days when a new expansion happened? We just logged in because you know why? Because we just
Remember,
logged in the day
we used
before
to-
that too.
We
Dirk,
used to
you
go
don't
to
play the
work
game,
because we
Dirk.
cared about our jobs. We didn't
All
care
of
about
us
the
here-
paycheck.
All of us here have
I
been
mean,
playing the
I mean,
game.
honestly-
You haven't been playing the game.
Speak for yourself.
honestly,
Rain.
honestly, guys,
I
like
said all of us
if
except Dirk.
if you're gonna flip out this hard against like 50,000 skill points, like
It's 100,000.
I don't know what's gonna happen.
Do it
Oh,
tomorrow,
like
too.
50 a day,
Oh,
like well, 100,000 over the
100,000.
weekend, right? 100,000 over
100,000.
the week. Sorry, 100,000 over the weekend. I don't know what the fuck's gonna happen when they start doing the winter kind of Yule stuff.
Dude. Well,
We have to log
the
in
winter
to get
Yule stuff, number
snowballs
one,
and
never
skins?
has or hasn't in a long time had any value. It's all freaking knickknacks and shit like
Hey,
that.
those
okay?
Guardian skins are good. I
There
want
was
those.
there was a time back in the
They're
freaking
cute.
day when
Dude,
when,
I've-
when
I've-
Christmas gifts and shit like that were actually like legit, you know, type of stuff. However, we don't have that now.
Still got one with fucking Praxis in it, man.
Right,
Well, what?
there you go.
Oh yeah,
Praxis is everywhere.
Praxis.
Gnosises are everywhere. Gnose are everywhere.
No side.
I
Less
don't
eye.
see a lot
like
of people
those.
using the little one. What is the apotheosis? Nobody uses those, I don't think.
The greatest one ever was the multi-character training back like in the day when they freaking gave that out the first time. That was the best.
Those.
Because that was back at a time where it was like we didn't have any of that shit. It hadn't been introduced.
Well,
yet.
because
it was like, oh my god.
you had to
know.
you actually.
or no, I'm sorry. The remap back before remaps ever existed, and they gave that out as a. At that time, I think
when
they
I
still
started
called it
playing,
Christmas.
they already
but-
had remaps. I got it. I logged it, or I made my character. I think I started with 2 free remaps when I made my character, and I don't know if that's what was supposed to happen.
I think you got a bonus one at some point, but then you get one every year. And if you don't use
before
it every
remaps,
year,
like I'm talking literally before
yeah,
there was
before
even the like.
Dirk, that was like
ability.
2004. None of us played them.
Yeah, like
No,
you
it
had
wasn't
what
that.
you
Like,
had
it wasn't
the-
that
I
long
think I
ago. I
did-
started in 2008, and we didn't have fucking remaps.
I had
Dirk,
like
2008 was
2010?
10 years ago.
I had like 2 bonus remaps, and I think I just used them. But I want to get rid of the attributes completely anyway, because it's stupid, and there's no
Yeah.
point to it anymore. And
Not
just
really.
change it all. Provide us flat training speed, and then your implants can increase the training speed, and the accelerators can increase the training speed. But get rid of the damn attributes. There's no point in that
Yeah,
stuff.
I like because other people they would actually like go through the whole efficiency thing of like setting their skills, like only training these skills with the the certain attributes because of the primary and secondary, and then they'd swap them after a year with the remap. It's like, hell no. I just put all mine like right down the middle even. It's just like, all right, go to training.
It
No,
was just needless convolution, like that. You know,
'Cause-
just needlessly convoluted for the.
I know,
for
it's
the-
like, because I would hear people
So,
sitting there
but-
going like, oh, I can't switch to that skill. I'm not a spec for it. I was like,
I'm not remapped for it. Yeah,
remap
yeah.
for it or whatever it is. I'm like, so
Yeah.
it
I think
adds an
that
extra day.
the other
Go do
thing
it.
though is that they would have to revamp the whole. Implant system at that
Times.
point, because then we
Well,
have
and
to
skill
we have
system,
to. Yeah, well, I mean, not the actual skills themselves as much, but like removing the attributes wouldn't do anything. But the attributes are associated with certain implants, so you would have to revamp the whole implant system at that point, and have to just say, okay, well, this increases this much % for each implant that you have in now, instead of just it increases this attribute. So that's another whole rework that they would have to do. That's a new expansion, Dirk.
Yay!
They could
Oh,
have
by
just
the way,
locked
since I just
the
got back, and I'm not sure
attributes
exactly what you guys are talking
to
about. I just want to
baseline.
remind people out there to please go get your free fucking skill points.
Yeah.
You got 3 days to get 2 days worth of extra skill points. It's not a double training weekend. It's a lump sum thing. You get 25,000 for every alpha account that you have, and then 50,000, really 25,000 times 2, for every Omega account you have, and you put it in your redeemables, and you can like send it off, to whatever characters you want to, that kind of thing. So please make sure that you do get it. Whether you think free shit is terrible, whether you think it's like, Eve socialism, or like, they're gaming you or you're gaming them, whatever. Who gives a fuck? Just get yours.
I would say just don't worry about the skill point. Just log in, play the game. You're watching us, so log in. Jesus Christ, if you're watching this and you're not logging into the game, there's something wrong with you.
What's wrong with you people?
Poor people in the
Poor-
listening to the
poor sad
podcast,
people.
What are you
It'll be
talking
like
about, poor
Monday.
people? There's alpha
No, it's gonna
clubs
be
now.
like
They can play in
Monday.
alpha.
listening in the podcast, and we're gonna be like, man, I didn't log in over the weekend.
Please play Eve. It would
You
be
guys are
nice
all
if you
minus
played Eve.
50,000 real life skill points right now just for logging in to this.
You
I
just
don't
got minus 10 IQ for listening to this rant for the last hour.
Everyone is
much.
now dumber for having listened to what we.
Can we talk about
exactly.
like
God have mercy
actual
on your soul.
gameplay?
Yeah, hold on. Let's talk about. Hold on, I'm like deleting stuff, and I don't want to like push the wrong buttons at the same time. Let's.
Well, I just wanted to say this. I feel bad for anybody who misses out on this, but I feel doubly bad for anybody who's lost their house because of fires or floods or stuff, and also
Yep.
realized that they weren't able to log in and get their free SP as well.
Dude, there was so much fucking crying on this fucking show last weekend. It became kind of a thing where it's like, even Matter, I was like, man, I heard there was a lot of tears and shit on the show last week. It's like, number one, we had a death that we had to deal with, and then we had like, another thing we had to deal with, and it's like, okay, are you gonna bring up sad stuff now?
Did I miss last
Stan Lee's
weekend?
dead. How about that?
I missed
That's
last
sad.
weekend. What happened last weekend?
Sweat.
We lost-
Sweat Mags passed away, and we did like a little.
Oh,
memorial
Sweet
thing
Mags,
at
that's
the
right.
beginning.
Okay,
we did
yeah,
a little
I'm sorry.
memorial thing
We
at
had
the beginning of
that.
the show.
I was out of town on a job, so
But anyways,
Gotcha.
yeah, hey, look, if anybody wants to cry, Mercenary Coalition disbanded.
That makes me sad. I
No
had a lot of
shit.
Fun times with
I
fighting
just
them.
did a shot. I'll
Celine's
say
a
that one
buddy
was
of
for
mine.
them.
MC just disbanded? No shit.
Oh yeah, that's legit. Yeah.
Are they closing the alliance, or are they just like kind of leaving it with
Closing
someone
the
low?
alliance. Some have gone to PL. I don't know where everybody else has gone to. I don't have a whole lot of information
Actually,
on
shuttering
this.
the alliance.
What the fuck, Dirk?
Shuttering it up.
I would have
Wow.
I would have thought they'd have put it on a back burner at least.
Well, and you know what? I'm going to pronounce your name Zay VS out there. MC hasn't been relevant since they were Bob Pets. I don't think that's exactly true. I think it went past that. But it was something I brought up, before the show. Kind of, what does it mean when you have organizations like this that end up disbanding, right? Is it simply because the leadership is like, okay, guys, the ride's over, or is there something bigger going on within what it was that organization was sort of built over many, many years to do that has changed in the game?
Could be a million things.
It's not so much about Mercenary Coalition,
Well,
even though
I mean,
they
look.
did have the greatest fucking Eve swag of any
did.
alliance.
They did.
And
They
that's
did.
and
They
that's
did,
the
yeah.
thing I want to point out is that regardless of whether they were relevant or not, these guys routinely brought 50 to 60 guys to every single Eve meet anywhere. FanFest, Vegas, London, Germany, G Fleet, down under. They were everywhere. So that tells you that there's got to be enough esprit de corps within that alliance that folks are willing to do that, and that's a testament to Celine and his hard work, and I give him a ton of credit for that. I love that guy. Yes, I helped blow up his Titan. Yes, I've we've fought multiple times and everything like that. But that's part of the fun of this game, is that you get to make friends that are on the other side, and then you blow them up. But he's a great guy, and I thought MC they were fun to fight. We fought them so hard in Syndicate last year. I mean, they were our boogeymen. We had all kinds of in jokes about them, mostly cormorants and all the stuff we used to do, and then blowing up their Keepstar when they screwed up the unanchoring, stuff like that. It was just funny. So there's a lot of good memories from MC, and I'm sad to have them not on the other side shooting back. But it seems like, at least when Selena and I talked last week, he's trying to make sure that everybody has a place to land and that they go somewhere good and they find another group to play with. But I can understand. I mean, these guys have been around for 15 years, so it's time for something new.
Well, it's because does anyone know exactly have they said what the reasons were? Like, was it the CEO is just kind of done? Because a lot of times, if a CEO that has been holding a group together leaves, then the rest of the group will just break up or go stagnant.
We're going to add one more to video.
Okay.
Like, this is going to be on the fly, everybody out there. So, just fucking deal with what happens with the goddamn screen. Laser clear, though. Drop the link down into on air and. But hold on, and forget that it's Selene, forget that it's Mercenary Coalition and kind of the name and things like that, right? Again, this kind of comes back, I think personally, to kind of the way the game is headed. That some of these kind of long-standing organizations that did things away that lasted for years and years and years have so fundamentally changed that. You have the demise of these organizations. Whether you liked them or not, whether or not you thought they were relevant because maybe you were in such a powerful group that they were never something that really mattered to you fundamentally. But guess what? They mattered elsewhere in the game and things like that. But to the point where they end up leaving because how the game is fundamentally changed.
That's pretty common within EVE, right? Like, it's
exactly
been around for 15 years. We've had tons of groups come and go and come and go.
Yeah,
like that's
who would have thought that
sucks.
Ascendant Frontier was going to go away when they were huge?
Who
would have thought that that Bob would die the way that they died, or the original
Atlas Alliance? There's been a bunch
Atlas
of
Alliance. I mean,
yeah,
all the
Atlas Alliance. I mean, if you talk about traditional alliances, look, some things just go away because of their organizational structure, or because they had a cult leader, or whatever the hell it is, right? I think that when we see things that were in this case here. I'm going to associate Mercenary Coalition with a certain segment of this game. Partially low sec, also partially out there in kind of a different methodology. It wasn't a land holding alliance, so to speak, right? It never was. It was never meant to be. But now has so much come down to, at this point, if you're not a fucking space holding freaking, build your society in freaking space kind of group, it's like you're just not part of what happens in the kind of shackles off part of space that is nullsec, and that's not demeaning wormholes at all. Wormholes are a completely different space, but like there's only one true path to nullsec at this point. Well, other than renters, but
true, but consider the old adage of like varieties of spice of life, right? Like technically what that kind of what this sort of shows with MC kind of shuddering is like certain alliances that kind of hold on to their principles of getting them the money that their alliance basically kind of runs on through mercenary contracts, that kind of thing. Like it's another kind of aspect of that kind of type of alliance that is just not compatible with EVE at the moment.
Well, I mean,
like, is that a bad thing? Is that a good thing? Because I think that's kind of a bad thing.
That it changes. I mean, look, whoever was watching, hi, Mrs. McGurk. If you guys look and see, I mean, I don't know how many you watched. Have you watched Talking Stations? I guess it was not last weekend, but the weekend before, when Headliner was on talking about Pandemic Legion. I mean, that's a perfect example of a group of guys that were dominant in the game, that did not attach themselves to any specific area in Null, that moved around to chase the fights, that were well known for having high skill point players, having Titans having supers more than anybody else did, and having pilots that were capable of flying them well. And that all changed. That meta changed. So it's not as big a thing as it used to be. And the way you make money with moons and everything was gone. So you have to basically go and have space and farm it, like with a logistics crew. So that changed the way that PL has to do stuff, and they're doing it, and they're gonna have to make those changes, just like Goons did, just like Init did. We used to be one of the, just like MC, we were a roving group. We weren't tied down to any areas of space, and hell, we just dropped our second Keep Star the other day, and it wasn't even a big deal.
I mean, I distinctly remember in my corporation, like, when we were thinking about where to go, like, that was one of the negative aspects of joining the initiative. It was a case of, they're a roaming alliance. They don't hold Solve. But we up initiative.
Well, the
updated.
I guess ultimately, and and I've said this a number of times, so it's probably beating a fucking dead horse out there. But it's like I feel as though that over the course of time, we have moved from a kind of Eve universe, and this is going to be completely nullsec centric, okay? But we've moved from a place where multiple paths to gameplay could coexist, okay, to a place where there's really only one path, and is the one path, which I've always believed to be the smarter path, but like, is only having kind of really one path like better for the game, or are we missing something here?
What do you mean by one path?
One path, like, you've pretty much got to be self-sufficient, or pretty much self-sufficient as a space holding alliance / coalition, pretty much coalition at this point.
To be relevant in nullsec in some way.
To be relevant, yeah.
Or even in nullsec, maybe not even in nullsec in general, but just in nullsec fights, right?
I mean, in the past we've had other paths to this that allowed different styles of play to be able to be effective in these places, and I'm just wondering if we're like pigeonholing people into kind of sort of a singular style of gameplay. And therefore, you end up losing people because of that. And forget just losing alliances. Let's talk about losing people that may be part of that as well, like players that may be part of that as well.
I don't think it's going to force anybody out, or it requires like one path. But what you're going to find is that all of the big alliances have to be good at everything. They can't just specialize like they used to. They can't just say, "Oh, we're just a PvP alliance," because you can't just be a PvP alliance anymore. You got to have industry guys. You got to have guys doing, the basic logistic type stuff to be able to maintain SOV. You can't just be a group that just bounces around unless, you got somebody who's funding it, buying, 50,000 plex every month. So I feel like it's not that you're locked in, you have to play one style, but the groups overall, to be effective, all need to be able to do basically the same stuff. They got to have their own SOV. They got to have their own logistics. They got to have their own industry. They got to have their own PvPers.
I don't know. We don't have SOV.
I know, you guys make money anyway.
But how consequential are you?
We make tons of money.
How does BL make money? I don't even know.
It's our secret.
What do you like, renters? Do you have guys?
Oh no, we don't do any renting. But no, we have people. I mean, we do have people who do, like you said, like industry stuff. Obviously, logistics. I don't know how you live in nullsec and not do logistics. But like, I know I make money just running burners, doing missions. I mean, I could also say I make money doing a plethora of other things. Like, I have a decent job in your life, so I could buy Plex from CCP.
Hey, McCurk like Jr.'s home.
Hey,
what's up?
Yep.
She's trying to talk.
For her.
Hello.
Push to talk.
Hey.
That one. I was clicking the wrong. What is this? The control button.
There you
Why
go.
did they tell me? I literally
push to talk.
Are you
home for Thanksgiving?
Yeah, I'm home for
Nice.
a week.
That's awesome.
How's
Very
college?
exciting. It's very fun. You go out to the parties.
Are you doing good in classes?
How are your grades?
I am. My
good,
grades
that's
are
good.
actually good.
You have to
Are you
Keep up.
enjoying
Enjoy
sorority?
it. Enjoy it. Freshman year gets harder as you get higher up.
Yeah, I have bio and chem next semester.
Yeah, study hard on that, or you don't want to have to retake it.
Are you going to
Yeah,
join
I
a sorority?
know. What?
You gonna join a sorority? You gonna go Greek?
Yeah, I have Rush in January.
Nice.
Hey, guess what? So
What?
Eve Toronto is next year. You should get Dirk to take you because drinking
Oh.
age is 19.
We have to go to Toronto.
Or the Cruisers of Eve
There
that
you
goes
go.
to Canada.
It'll be
Eve
fun. We can party.
Cruise.
We can party.
I can drink.
If they have Alpha Delta Pi on campus,
Yeah,
that's my wife's sorority. So
Now, I
I'll
don't
put
know
it
if
in
they'll
the
have
group.
4 locos on board, but tell Dirk that the last cruise I went on, they let you bring a 12-pack of whatever your choice of drinks, so he can still bring his locos. Possibly.
I put him on to Locos.
There you go. Exactly.
Yeah, of course.
This
That's
is
fantastic.
hilarious.
Okay, I'm
You're
gonna go.
a corrupter of
right,
the
take care.
elder generation.
I'm a corrupter.
Corrupt your elders.
Bye, McGirt Jr.
I had to go down and pick her up today from school. It was the first time I'd seen her since like when we went down for Parents' Weekend, like middle of October or whatever. So this was the longest time that we'd been away from her since like forever. So it was kind of a fun ride back. I'm like, hey, how's it going? It's like, do you even remember me?
I'm the one that birthed you. I
Well,
send
didn't-
you checks every once in a
Yeah.
while.
But yeah, whatever. So I'm like, you're just hanging out tonight, right? You're just gonna be home, when mommy gets here and whatnot. She's like, no, I'm going out. I'm like, it's
I
terrible.
remember
Fucking
those
terrible.
days.
Friday
Going
night,
out was
she's
fun.
not a shut-in like the rest of us.
There's plenty of clubs. that we
Yeah,
can go to.
exactly.
Why should she go out as like a 19?
Just go back to Las Vegas.
Just like any other fucking 19-year-old did. You're from
Terrible
fucking,
house
you-
parties?
Yeah,
Well,
exactly.
yeah, at college it's the house of dorm parties, of course.
Aww.
They're probably better than any of the bars, but
That's what you do, and then you learn to escalate from there. It's just yeah. This whole fucking sorority thing. I'm just sitting there going.
I would tell her to avoid sorority
They-
stuff.
they
I've
still-
heard lots
And then
of
apparently it
stories.
costs
still do
money to
hazing in
join. I'm
college?
like, what do you mean it costs
that
money to
still a thing?
join? I'm
No.
like,
It's all banned. You can't do anything.
well, I know it's
fucking-
banned, but that doesn't mean it doesn't happen.
no,
if
they
I had a
still
son,
haze
I would
and they
never
still
allow
do
him to
stuff.
join a fraternity. I
It's
just
a
fucking
bad idea.
wouldn't. But
It's no,
No.
Dirk sororities are
anymore.
still bad. They're still bad.
No, they're not.
sororities
No,
are not
they
what
are. They
fraternities
are.
are.
No,
Like,
trust me, I know. They're bad.
They're not.
But I
was
know.
a freak. I
You
was
sound like
pregnant
an
with my
idiot.
fraternity. My
Okay,
wife was.
so it
was
really
high up
depends
in her
on-
sorority.
I know
It depends
plenty
on
of frat
where you go to
boys.
school, and
and
it
sorority
depends on
girls.
what kind of sorority and frats are there.
Correct. That's exactly correct.
she's just gonna join a sorority. I said, well, what is it you guys do? She's like, well, we do a lot of service-oriented things, and I'm like,
Drinking.
are
That's
you
real
fucking kidding
descriptive.
me?
Drinking.
That's part of it. Yes.
Yeah.
It's always.
Yes,
More
that's right.
drinking.
I'm like, then why is it costing me money? If and she's like, well, like they give us things. I'm like, what do they fucking give you that I have to pay money for them to give you? I'm like, can't you people like do fucking car washes and shit?
You could do that, but then, like for us, we had a fraternity house. So if you lived in the house, you had to pay rent.
No, they don't have houses. And you know
Yeah.
what's really weird? You know what's really weird here in Pennsylvania? Apparently, it's still on the fucking books that no more than
Oh, it's
4
the cat
women
house
can
thing?
be on the
Yeah.
same lease.
Yeah. I mean, that's unconstitutional, but that's still common.
So yeah, and I'm like, I'm like, well, that's good because no more than 4 of you women should be on the same lease, because that would mean that you guys would have a fucking sorority house, and therefore I'd have to tell you no.
There's
As
nothing
opposed
wrong
to-
with it. Rain
I
must have
think
had a bad
it's-
experience. Sometime we'll have to talk.
No, I'm just
about
like
the-
very realistic about some of this shit.
Oh, you don't have to be realistic about it. It's not that bad.
Don't be
As a
as
female
realistic
that
as I
went
am.
through college and like,
I think
trust
it's time
me,
to
I
take a
have
shot
Plenty of guy
Going
friends.
towards
You know,
all
I
the
am gonna do-
sororities
I am
and
gonna do a
everything
shot
that
in
we've
this
been
shot.
Bad
This
stuff.
shot, I'm going to through it back to Mercenary Coalition going away, as well as the next story that we're going to talk about, which is the Chesser. I'm doing shot with a Chesser. And apparently Chesser has fucking moonwalked out of Eve. Moonwalked out so hard that he has put his fucking character up for sale, and it's I'm not even sure at this point how to explain. Like, hold on a second.
I've heard his
Let me see if I
character
can pull
is
it
already
up.
up to over 200 bill for the price of it.
There was
I was
somebody
up
that
to
threw.
300.
There was somebody that threw in last time I saw it was a 250 billion bid.
That
it
was a
started
troll.
it started off as 100 with a 1 trillion balance in his wallet that he threw out there, whatever. That may be
No,
that may
that's
be a troll.
Photoshop.
The one prior to
You can
one
tell.
prior to that though was 173 billion.
I just think it sucks. I mean, I'll be honest. I think he's going to regret it down the road.
I don't think he is.
I mean,
No,
I'm gonna be
he knows
straight
how
up
to
and
play the
telling you
game.
I don't think he is.
He knows exactly what he can do if he wants to come back to the game. You can easily do just as much as he can now. You just come back in and buy back in.
But the problem is that when you have created a character that has a name and a brand, people know who you are. Losing that and having to start over from scratch with no name. I mean, I don't know. I've been playing as Brisk in online games for almost 20 years now, and I would die if I couldn't use my Brisk character. I remember in World of Warcraft, I had to roll another tune and I used a different name, and it was like the weirdest thing. It was like my brain could not process that was not my character.
Buttercup.
So
Buttercup says he'll be back. Otherwise, why is he getting ISK for selling his character unless it's RMT?
He said he's donating it.
He
to
said
a
he's
charity.
donating it. He's
Well, you have to. I mean, you can't sell a character.
Here's it. Thanks.
Anyway, so.
so I'm just gonna I'm going to put that out there that I don't necessarily think he's doing that. But look, I think that if you go, and again, Chester's been one of those kind of people / characters. If you read his Reddit post of good night and Godspeed, I'm going to throw this out there as something that we all thought a long time ago, that pretty much everything he fucking did other than be really fucking good at solo PvP and shit like that. A lot of his attitude and shit that people saw on AT streams. Look, I thought the guy was a fucking dick. Okay, like on AT streams.
That's
and things
his
like
persona.
that.
Yep.
That's his. Fucking
Maybe
persona.
that's why
he
he's
was
getting rid of
he was a
Chester.
dick to people that didn't deserve being getting fucking dicked in the fucking AT tournament and shit like that. But that was kind of the persona he built. And if you read his fucking Reddit post, he's like, yes, I was trying to do that kind of a thing. But if you read deeper into his, his Reddit post of leaving, there's a lot of stuff in there about him personally and how this was overcompensating for difficulties that he had and all this kind of shit. And guess what, motherfuckers, I'm out. I actually believe he's out. I believe he's legit out, not just I'm taking a fucking breakout kind of stuff.
JC Denton, thanks for the 20 months.
And you sit there and you put your character up for sale and you give the fucking ISK away and all that kind of shit because there's so much fucking ISK floating through this game that somebody out there will pay big money for a goddamn name. Do it. And that is literally the way, other than just fucking demorphalizing or biodegrading or whatever the fuck it is that we do to our characters to make them go away permanently. That's the way to fucking do it. Once it's out of your fucking control, bam, it's out there.
But that's the thing. I mean, why take away the ability to come back if you want?
That makes it easier for you to cut that fucking rope and not come back.
See, that just drives me crazy because it's like, guys, it's a hobby, it's fun, it's a game. You become somebody that everybody looks up to.
Did you read his post, Brisk? Did you read his post?
And I understand
because nothing about his post said anything about this was the hobby. This was the life.
That doesn't mean
my daughter was the hobby. If I had to put it into those kinds of terms.
Fine, but that doesn't mean that in a year or two after he's taken his break and he's gotten his shit in real life sorted out, that he's not going to say, hey, you know what? I want to go back and hang out with my friends and see what's going on. And then you go back and you don't have your tune anymore. You don't have the stuff that you spent years making. You don't have all the ISK that you got and all that kind
Chris,
of stuff.
should I quit smoking?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
Should I quit cold turkey?
Yeah.
Go right ahead.
Should I come back to it in a couple of years?
All right. Are you trying to say that Eve is giving people lung cancer?
You could vape, which is the alpha account of smoking. I mean,
what if people caught Eve cancer? No, I think there are people out there that know that there is a time that they need to actually draw the fucking line at where they are, and it's
Well, I understand if you're addicted to something and you want to go cold turkey and stop it, all that kind of stuff. But I never saw Chester as being one of these guys that was addicted to gaming. But I mean, hey, maybe he is.
There's a goddamn incredible amount of people that are addicted to gaming. Honestly. Right now, 72.3% of the people that are in our Twitch channel fucking addicted to gaming.
I'd say
Dude, you just made that
You are the
statistic up.
cancer.
And two
You
out
are
of
the
five
cancer
people on
that
the
is
show
ruining
right
this
now
show.
I'd say I am. I mean,
You can't
You are
make up
running the show from the
You're-
inside.
I'm just saying.
You were the
Where's
cancer
Grant?
that is ruining this show from the inside out.
I'm a
I
hack.
love you,
I'm
Grant.
a hack.
Honestly, I totally fucking am. Okay, all right. That being said, it's kind of like that sort of addiction, like, is true. However, that sort of help, which I also read in his, and I swear to God, if somebody comes back, like if Chester comes back like 6 months from now or a year from now, and he's like, all you people that thought it was like, I'll be a fucking dick for that. I'm taking it at face fucking value that this person is saying, you know what?
Okay, that's fine.
This thing helped me for a long number of years. It was there for me, blah, blah, blah. The people I met, yada, yada, yada. Okay. All those people that are out there, like, either on the broadcast for reps or broadcasting for reps side of things. It's like, we know how this shit kind of fucking works in like, like 6-dimensional fucking angle and stuff. But I'm taking him at fucking face value.
I'm not
Am I
arguing
wrong
with,
for that?
I'm not
Like,
arguing that
he's pretty straightforward with
he's
things.
gonna
He's
come
like,
back.
he's like, hey, I have school, I have work. Eve was my escape. I don't need that anymore. I need to focus and get my shit together, or I'm not going to make it where I want to be in life.
And that's fine. And I think that's completely legit. My only thing is, I don't know. It's an old school military thing.
No,
Always leave
I-
yourself a path of retreat. Don't ever.
Were-
I
were you in the
talked to him
military,
about that,
Chris?
yeah, and he's totally okay. But also, he built Chesser as him being the asshole or the dick that Dirk described. I don't know if you guys have ever met him in real life, but he's 100% not like how he acts on stream or like his like front-facing persona. He's actually a genuinely nice person. And
Well,
like I know he's helped me with a lot of shit. He's taught me a lot of things. He's taught a lot of like up and coming solo PvPers, small gang PvPers, like people in tournaments. He's taught them things like he'll go to Eve meets and yeah, he might be kind of standoffish or dickish sometimes, but he's also genuinely a nice human being. He's
But
also like his career in life is also taking care of people, so like that's also adds on top of that.
Yeah, and as far as the no retreat thing, Briss, that you were talking about, I mean, there is that. It can be rough to come back and start from scratch, but I don't know. Sometimes, like I don't know. If you were really into starting the game again, it could be more exciting because you're like, man, I'm not used to having jack shit. I'm used to like being rich and having all this good shit. So it's like you come back to the game, it's like I got nothing. It's gonna take you a while. It gives you something to do, keeps you occupied. It can be like entertaining.
And
like, I've done that with games.
I understand that. I mean, but look, I mean, I have accounts. I got characters in Lord of the Rings Online that I played. I got WoW. I got Eve. I had Star Wars Galaxies before they destroyed that game. I've got EverQuest. I've got EverQuest 2. I got all these characters sprinkled around in all these different games that I played over the years. And I've never, ever just biomassed an account or thrown it away or sold it or anything because there's always a chance. Hey, you know what? When Star Trek Online came out, I'm a huge Star Trek fan. I bought the lifetime subscription so I can go back whenever I want and check it out. And I do every 6 or 7 months. I'll log in and see it for a little bit and then quit again.
Dude, I logged into fucking Farming Simulator 17 the other day and sat there and said, why should I still work when Farming Simulator 19 is coming out in 3 days from now? Why should I work on that fucking farm when I can ride a horse in 3 days?
I can never see myself quitting a game and giving away Brisk in whatever game it is.
I would want to see the name is the thing. Like that's what I would be attached to is the name. I could care less about the character.
Hold on though. And and once again, if you are going to do the actual fucking cut the cord from this thing that you've been a part of, right? There's only one way to fucking cut that cord, okay? You either go all in, okay, and give up that persona, that name, all the skill points you earned, all that kind of shit. Like honestly, you can give up all the skill points, but that means that you're holding back. You can tuck that fucking pack of cigarettes into the fucking ground out in your fucking backyard, but you'll still know that it's there, right?
Then
you'll still know that that pack of cigarettes is still there. You'll still know that name is still there if you wanted to go buy back in, and that would actually be really fucking worse. That if you gave up all that shit, let's say you freaking sucked your brain out of fucking Eve, right, to where you were down to alpha freaking state, and went out like legit alpha state, not what they call alpha, just unsubscribed state. Okay. But like legit alpha state. And all you were was a name. And you said, fuck it, I'm quitting. I'm doing this. I really fucking mean it. And then somehow or another, you got sucked back in and then credit carded your ass back to like, well, I need to get those skill points back because, I got to be me.
I wouldn't credit card it back. I'd start. See, if I was going to quit, I'm attached to the name. I wouldn't want to come back to the game and not be able to be Drayden. I'd be like, no, I'm not being some other fucking dude, I'm gonna be that name. So, but if I want to
Apparently
start
I was
over,
shot.
you biomass your character, and then you immediately remake another character, name the same thing, and then you have like a brand new, fresh slate, and then you quit.
You could just be Drayden ... It's fine.
No, fuck putting.
I'm just-
I hate
I'm just
putting
saying, when you're
numbers
ready
and
to-
dots
when
and
you're ready to
characters.
go,
It's
like, when
it's
you're-
gotta be the legit name.
When you're seriously ready to go in EVE Online, okay, you have got to do the real fucking deal, okay, and either biomass that character that was you in the game. Fuck all your alts and all that kind of shit. You can sell them off. You can donate them to Mike Azariah or whatever the fuck it is that you're gonna fucking do with it, okay? You know, or you sell the character off to somebody who it's like, you know, won't give it back. And that's why I'm buying this a little bit more out of him than I would if he was just like, okay,
Yeah,
guys,
I mean, like, granted,
I'm quitting. You know, I'm,
if
you
you
know,
wait,
do
one
the
sec,
character
one
way,
sec.
that's
I
kind of.
got moved
Hey,
up to Fry
random
Guy.
recovery in chat. What's happening in Gimminit? Like what system? I want
I
to
wanna
watch
look
There's
at
Ezekiel.
a big timer happening right now, apparently in
Blow it
Gimminit
up.
right now. I've been watching
Yeah, but
things.
has anything dropped? Like, are people fighting, or is it just everyone just staring at each other?
Kami Mansford says 977 in local.
Oh, that's not
That's-
big stuff happening.
I think that they're all sitting on
That's
Titans
not
right now,
tiny
waiting to
stuff
jump
happening,
in.
But that's
pretty-
like a
I'm
fight.
pretty sure that it's a structured final timer.
All right, so yeah, so shot up front for what I'm about ready to say.
Pow.
So
So,
who's
yeah.
fighting? Horde and who?
So Mercenary Coalition, we talked
think
about
Test.
that. Chester leaving, we talked about that. So yeah, anyways, December 19th, I'm going in for spinal surgery, and
Finally.
Why?
I'm taking a break
Damn.
for a while. I'm not saying I'm fucking.
You aren't allowed to take a break.
Dislocating my fucking character or biomassing or fucking selling him off or anything like that. I'm taking a break for a while. I'm going to take a legitimate, straight up 100% fucking Eve break, which also includes this show. And yeah.
When is this?
December 19th is when the surgery is, so my last show will be the fucking Friday before that, you know, whatever the hell, that Wednesday, whatever, I don't know.
All right, so we'll see you in January after Christmas.
Yeah, no, it'll be longer than that. It'll be longer than that. I'm legitimately taking a straight up show. Look, I've been debating for a very long time. I've thrown it out there in some tweets that have been fucking drunk at times, but are pretty much, you know, like everybody fucking knows, you know, apparently when you're drunk, all the fucking truth comes out. And some of those times, that's exactly how it was. I've been
thought you
thinking
were gonna
about this
take a
for a
break,
long time. I'm going to be honest. After last year's Eve Vegas, I wasn't sure what I wanted to do to myself or do with myself as far as Eve and the show was concerned. I struggled through this last year of whether or not I was even going to Eve Vegas, whether or not I was going to continue to play Eve. When one of my buddies came back in January, February of last year, I got re-engaged in a different way. I left PL and I came back to the fucking homeland of the Imperium and all that kind of blah, blah, blah. All right. But a lot of things are not clicking for me with the game itself. But I kept looking forward to Eve Vegas, and this Eve Vegas was a lot different for me than any other fucking Eve Vegas I've been to. It was completely not Eve at all.
But you got to hang out with me, so that made it better.
I got to hang out with you. I got to hang out with a bunch of other motherfuckers, but you know, because it was just all about fucking partying. Which honestly, I'm not going to give up the fucking partying
come
aspect
see
of being Dirk and shit like that. I am trying to re-engage with fucking Eve Online in a way that I'm not sure Eve Online is there for me at this time. However, I do have this other thing that's also going on, and yes, I am getting fucking like disc replacement of the C5, C6, C6, C7 vertebrae on December 19th, which will be really fucking fun. But whatever, I got to get this fucking. Because look, if I can't sit in a fucking chair like and play a video game, literally any video game, even fucking Farming Simulator, is like it's just not, you know, totally no fun for me. But this has been something that's going on for a while. Honestly, I can tell you right now, it goes back to my fucking blow up with BC back in 2015, 2016, New Year's Eve, like a lot of this shit. So this has been something I've been struggling with about where EVE Online is going. I would like to be able to continue to do this show. Honestly, there's a part of me that sits there and goes, I'd love to be able to do this show even without playing EVE Online. But fuck that shit. Like, nobody should ever fucking talk EVE Online unless they're actually fucking playing EVE Online.
I agree 1,000%.
Honestly, like that's where I always was. Like I was always on the other side of that with BC back when he was backing away from it and shit like that. So I've been struggling with this for a while because number one, I love you guys on this fucking show. It's like fucking family on this fucking show. Okay, especially you, Drayden. You're like a little red-haired Idahoan nephew and shit.
There is nothing little about Drayden.
Yeah, why you probably
All
little?
you fucking people out there in fucking Twitch chat and stuff like that, love that shit too. Okay, again, this is not until like in December or whatever. I'll soldier through for the next fucking 3 weeks and shit like that. But honestly, if I had to fucking peg this out, all right, because it is real. Honestly, once you get through about like a month away from EVE, you actually find out how kind of like being away from fucking EVE for a month feels. And it's a little bit fucking like EVE is a different fucking game. EVE, the meta is here. EVE, the like logging in to play it is like
Over there.
it's somewhere over there. Okay, like it just fucking is. And they put up shit like character trackers and shit like, fuck that shit. You know what? My character tracking age was years ago. And it was for years and hundreds and thousands of fucking hours. Okay? But now we're in a fucking different realm. I
Can we
love
talk about
talking
your
about the
disc
meta of this
replacement
game. I love
surgery?
talking about the fucking fun. I love hanging out with you people. But if I can find a reason to actually take a fucking break and then reconsider what fucking EVE Online is and even this show, as much as I love you, even this fucking show. I meant to do this fucking earlier, by the way, which is why all that shit was way up earlier in the fucking thing. But like, thank you, fucking Laser, for coming in, talking all fucking serious right at the beginning of the show.
Dirk, what about your disc replacement
You're
thing?
welcome.
Like, what's that
You
about?
too.
It's my fucking nerves that come out of your fucking
Yeah, but how
spine and they
risky
run
is
down
that?
your
Like,
arm and
how long does recovery take?
I don't know. It's like,
What are the risks?
Death.
well, there's a whole thing about how they have to move my esophagus and windpipe off to
What
the
the
fucking
fuck?
side. Okay, and that might like actually trigger the fucking nerve that runs down here that actually has to do with my vocal cords and stuff like that. But whatever. It's like I'd come on here talking like a fucking like horse mouth dick or whatever, which people out
'Cause
there
you've
think I'm
never
already a
come back
horse
to
Get
mouth
like
dick.
one of
but-
those voice boxes that the
Oh my
tracheotomy
god! Oh
people
my
have.
god! How cool would
You
that
come
be
in-
for one
Tracheotomy.
show?
Like, please do
just
it.
like
No!
feigning it for
That's gonna
one
happen
show.
now.
You'd come in here. You'd come in here like laying on the bed, like with your video camera up, like up
If
on
I
the
can
ceiling,
find
like
one of
looking
those
down at
things,
I'm
you.
gonna
Like,
see you're
Hey,
gonna be doing
guys!
open comms from the hospital.
Someone pour me a shot.
Oh, you should. You should do one open comes
This
from the
is
hospital
the
and see if
dirt.
they'll.
I am only here to talk about being in the game. No, but seriously, again, all right. This has been something I've been like trying to figure out when it was actually going to get scheduled because obviously people have known out there that like a few weeks ago my head was like bent down and shit like this. I couldn't even fucking talk. Like it was ridiculous. But what's been going on longer than that is the fact of I've been trying to find myself in this fucking game for a couple of fucking years. I've been trying to find out what it was I wanted to fucking do. I can't find that either. I literally can't find that either. I went to fucking PL, thought maybe fucking change of fucking, grassland or whatever. Like the grass may be greener on some other side. Nope. It just fucking isn't. So
I know something that you want to do, Dirk.
what?
I know something that you want to do.
Really?
You-
Yes,
you
I
wanna
do
give
want to
me-
be president of the United States.
You want to give me all your stuff. That's what you want.
I was waiting for. I mean, I saw it in chat, but I was waiting.
Somebody
for
had
someone
to
I was
say it.
waiting
Come
for
on.
someone to do
I
it on
want
the
your
show.
stuff.
Somebody had to say it.
No,
It's true, it is
well,
true.
somebody did. And like honestly, I have never been one of those guys in this game that like wanted all that much. I wanted enough to get me by. I wanted enough to do things with and whatnot. And it's like,
Have your super character?
oh my god, if you want to come down to fucking Delve and literally you can have my fucking
Yeah,
super.
I'll make so much
Like-
disc. I'll take your super.
take
Yeah,
your
yeah,
super.
but whatever. Okay, because
No,
like, yeah,
I
I'm sitting
did-
there. I'm sitting there thinking, you know what?
I
I
already
may,
have one.
I may come back. I don't know what it will be. Like, I'm not looking to fucking change places of where I live. If my fucking corp or my fucking alliance wants to fucking kick me out, it's like whatever. It's like, fuck it. I just don't give a shit anymore. Like, I don't give a shit about that stuff anymore. It's like everything I have is fucking packed and jacked, and it's like, it's more about where's the I've got two different things going on. I've got the fact of I have a clean break I can make because there's going to be a fucking recovery period and all that kind of shit. But like, I've chosen that as being the fucking time because it's convenient. But honestly, this is something I could have fucking done at any time. But if my fucking corp or my alliance wants to fucking boot me out, it's like, fine, just fucking do it. CCP has built in all the fucking shit that none of it fucking matters anymore anyways. I can pay the fucking tax on whatever. Fuck it. Nobody gives a fuck about an Aeon anymore. It's like, you know, I haven't invested in a fucking Titan because I've been sitting there going, I don't want one more fucking casket to fucking live in. The fact of the
They aren't
matter
caskets
is,
anymore though with keep stars.
the fact they are fucking caskets.
No,
If
they're
you're
not.
there and you're no longer in the organization and you undock and everybody fucking kills you, casket.
That's
But
true.
Nah.
you know, but the fact of the matter is like, yeah, I too have been trying to find myself in this brave new world of whatever the fuck Eve is. And I really don't want to get super negative about it or anything like that. It is fucking different. And if all you do is say that fucking adapt to the situation is the fucking rule, you're just fucking wrong. You're just a fucking tagger on of like the things that you know are fucking broken in this game, but you're just there for the guys that you're in with TeamSpeak, which is where I lived as well for years and years and years. We get way closer to the people that we just fucking hang out with, and we don't care how it fucking changes as long as we just continue to hang out with the people that we fucking hang out with. But the game itself
You have
is
family.
fucked up. The game
You
itself
have family.
is fucked up in critical fucking ways. Okay? It's just the way
But-
it fucking is.
But Dirk, it's always been fucked up in critical fucking
So-
ways.
it's
No, it
social
hasn't
simulation
always
with
been
the-
fucked up
with
in
the-
critical other ways.
Adapters
Because you know
die.
what? All the fucking statistics of this game tell you otherwise. It is more fucked up now. It is on a fucking massive fucking decline. Not Declan, decline.
Are you even
Okay.
But
dying?
we all have our but at the same time we all have our families that we play with, and even in my corporation I can tell you that we're 100% a family. Just like you saw at Vegas, Dirk, you came into our party that
Yep.
one night and everyone was there. We were just sitting around chilling out, hanging out, and those are the people that are in comms every night hanging out. You have
But
a
that's,
family.
hold on. I'm going to tell you right now. I am literally going to say this right now. For most people in Nullsec, most, not just a preponderance of, not just like some of, for most people in Nullsec, honestly, Nullsec game time right now, it's not about fucking fun. It's about who you fucking hang with.
Basically.
It's about who you talk with. It's about
When
who you
has
chat
that?
with.
But that's
It's always been that.
No, it has not.
Yes, it has.
No, it has
Eve
not.
has always been a social
Right now-
game,
Yes,
Dirk.
it
Eve
has,
has always
Dirk.
been a social game. Don't fucking get me wrong.
It's
I'm
very
saying
much
that
so
it
right now.
crossed the fucking Rubicon of being fucking hanging out and all that kind of fucking shit. Like, but still, I'd play this even if you left. I said to BC years ago, fuck you, bitch. I'd play this even if you left. I'd play it if they never changed it again. And I would have.
The thing is,
But what I didn't
is that
realize
it's
at
all
that
who you
time
know
when I
these
was
days,
saying
like-
it was that, honestly, a lot of it was really fucking tied to I'd play this terrible fucking game, which, like, that is a joke, by the way. I don't think it's a terrible game. I think it is one of the greatest fucking social simulators ever with a game front end that has been built anywhere by anybody, and they've got a lot to be fucking proud of. Okay? I didn't give a fuck if they would have changed the game because of who I played with, not what I played. And everybody that I played with is gone.
PNG was like
We're still here.
yeah, I mean like
We're
I
still
don't play with you. I
Come
do a
to
fucking
BL.
show about drinking and
Well,
talking about
then-
Eve
Well,
Come
Online.
play with us. We've invited you to
Huh?
come play
Yeah,
with
come
us.
play
Different,
So
different,
maybe-
different. You can't rebuild what you had when you grew up in this game. You can't rebuild it.
Dirk,
Well,
you
that-
can
and
always
that's the
forge
thing,
new
like-
friendships in game.
You could
No,
do
no,
fun stuff.
It's not
and
about
then play with
forging new
people that you like.
friendships.
Dirk,
That's
we're
not what
friends,
people do.
okay? You can't unfriend me.
Why don't you join
So,
Black
a lot of
the
this-
rest of these guys and play with them?
is that
a
a
lot,
decision on
a lot of this game.
I'm gonna tell you right now, for those of you out there who are new and don't even like fucking like understand, and somebody said trunk rant, but it's not trunk. It's not trunk nor drunk. Okay, I'm not drunk. I'm not that
This
drunk
is
yet.
not even. Yeah, this is
I'm
not.
not drunk. I'm
Yeah.
not that drunk yet.
Well, huh, 'cause I'm not gonna say that I
Keywords.
wouldn't get fucking pulled over right now if I ran down to the
I
fucking
mean,
White Castle, but
it's-
still.
Don't,
Okay.
don't drive.
exactly. I remember saying nostalgia. Nostalgia is always a thing because
We all fucking rely on
every
nostalgia.
time, I mean, like, every time you go through a game, after you've been playing for a long time, there's always that, like, because, like, when you first come into a game earlier on, there's always that portion of the game that you look back and, like, man, those were the days. And, like, for me, it's PNG. Like, I look back on PNG, like, I've had a lot of fun playing it. I've been in Imperium for a long time, and now I'm in Black Legion. And it's like, I'm enjoying stuff, but it's like, I still look back on PNG going, like, man, those were the days. Like, that was the
Those
shit.
were your formative years.
So yeah, like being in what was Hackwas Corporation? I forget. It was
Nobody cares.
Hackwas Corporation in PNG. Like when Dirk and BC came in, we had Eagle Eyes and like all the other guys in it, like fucking Boom.
Those are
Bio.
your formative years.
Yeah.
You will
But-
always look back on that as
but
being
Dirk,
part of
this
your
is the-
formative years.
Daniel
But the point
Westelius.
point that Drayden is making is what you're not paying attention to. The reason why you're not logging in is because you're not playing with any of your friends. You're not playing with me. You're not playing with Rain. You're not playing with Drayden. If you guys joined Black Legion, you'd be logging in every night because you'd be hanging out with them and playing with them.
Or
But you're not. You're in
Initiative even,
TNT with nobody that you play with anymore.
I'm
So
gonna tell you
why?
right now. Once you've done a number of years of like kind of the similar thing with the same fucking people and all that kind of shit, you can't recreate the past. You can't go back to the
You don't-
carnival that
it's
you
not
went
about-
to as a
it's
kid.
not
You're not
about
about
recreating the
replacing
past.
old
It's Risk, I
friends.
love
It's
you,
about
and even
getting
the people
new
here.
friends.
It's like, look,
Correct. It's about new stuff. Go do new
All
things
the
with new
people I started the game with have quit. All the people
and
I
same
learned
with
to
me.
love
Yes.
this game with
All
have
the guys I used to
quit.
game with 15 years ago, I mean, other
I
than
found
like a
more
handful
friends.
of real life friends.
I'm with
that
Black
run
Legion
from
now,
that
like
are
it's
gone.
fun.
But every time I talk to them, I run into them,
I
and stuff, and
tried.
we talk on Facebook. They're
hold on.
fun.
I
You
tried
should be
that.
logging in
anybody,
with
and for
Drayden.
anybody out there who knew at the fucking time, okay, and yes, it all fucking kind of like coalesced together with me fucking like shitting on BC and like, well, we had our fucking like ins and outs and things at the time, but like when I went to fucking PL, it was with people that I knew, okay, who I began to socialize with and shit like that, okay, to go find a different path with people I fucking knew, going and fucking hanging out with Grath and shit like that. It's like, you know what? I'm going to go try this with other people. And you know what? That style wasn't what I had in mind, regardless of who the fuck was there.
Okay, so that it didn't work
But
one
try
time, so now you're never going to try it
something new.
again.
No, I'm not
Like,
saying
come
I'm never
on,
going
I've
to try
tried it.
Hold on. And please, let me back up a fucking moment here. I'm not selling all my shit. The fucking Dirk character is
Good.
not going to be able to be fucking bought by whatever casino or sub casino or whatever like
Good.
is out there or like stuff like that, just so they can like go out there and fucking local and put racist memes up or shit like that. Okay, like it's just not going to
Because
fucking
you know
happen,
we would
okay?
do that.
Okay, because number one, while I feel as though for my own income level in this fucking game, which never cared about ISK really, okay, given away way more than I ever kept for my fucking self, okay, I will never give up the fucking Dirk character. I'll never give up any of my fucking characters because all of them meant fucking something to me at one point or another. Okay, like I built those things. Those were things back in the fucking day that I grew up like little children. Because skill injectors didn't fucking exist,
Weren't a
CCP. Fuck
thing.
you. Okay,
Yeah.
but whatever. Okay.
Back in my day, I had to make bookmarks to warp right to the gate.
I had to make Eve babies. But whatever. Okay. It's like fuck that. I won't do that because it's just like, that's just
So what you're saying,
Honestly,
Dirk,
that's
is
really
you just need a
fucking, like-
break. You just need a break. That's what you're saying.
Oh, yeah, break.
What
my
Dirk
initial,
needs,
my
here's what
initial
Dirk needs.
intention
Dirk
is to
needs
take
to
a
choose his
legitimate
tampons
break.
with
And I know for some people out there that know me right now, like that don't know that I have been playing on my my own little fucking alts on the side. Okay, it's like, yes, I'm not going to fucking be there. I'm like, even I thought when a war came up, that would be like what would reinvigorate me. And like, guess what? Wars and Eve are dick. They're fucking dick now. They're bullshit. Okay? Like, even
Titans
fucking
Online.
wars didn't reinvigorate me. Okay? Like, that was the only thing that I thought was gonna fucking bring me back to, like, nope. Fuck it. I'm not gonna fucking sell those characters. I'm not going to fucking do any of that shit. I will legitimately give away my shit when the fucking time comes. But right now, as of December 19th, okay, I'm taking a full-on hardcore press. And the reason why I'm saying this tonight is because this is the last vestige of that. Open comms. Open comms is the last vestige of the thing that fucking didn't just allow me to fucking go out on a Friday night.
Yeah, I mean,
Take a fucking step away. Because this, to me, right now, like some other people I fucking know, okay, is literally fucking EVE Online. Talking about the fucking topics, like, not about the shit that we used to talk about back in the fucking day of, like, you know, like, oh shit, I was out there flying this fucking, you know, new goddamn... No. Talking about the fucking overarching fucking macro kind of shit and whatnot, and getting drunk about it and just being fucking stupid. That became fucking EVE Online for me. And I've got to
So
fucking
something that
be able to back away from it
reinvigorated me the other day.
100%. I can't switch from fucking cigarettes over to a fucking vape.
right.
Dirk, what you
So
need to do
there's
is go to the store and buy like a nice
Don't
bubble
tell me to
bath.
get a vape, Brisk.
You need to buy a bubble bath. Go upstairs. You need to draw yourself a bath. Get in it and rub all the sand out of your vagina. And then you got to join Black Legion. And then you got to play with Drayden and Rain and stop being a crybaby.
And by
It's
the
hard to fuck up, dude.
hold
Come
on,
on.
I want to come back to you, Brisk. I also want to come back to Iron Wolf. Iron Wolf, why do you think the cabana was what it was at Vegas this year? And Brisk, I have thrown that sand in the vagina thing at so many people out there over the fucking years that I like almost like sat there and went, yeah, you know, he's right, but it's not. We can all
come
tolerate
on,
sand in
dude.
the
Dirk,
hold on,
Dirk,
can
every
I
guy
make
one
out
request?
there can tolerate sand in the vagina.
Can I make
are
one
saying-
request then? Similar to what Brisk is asking. Can you fly in a couple of fleets with Drayden and I, hanging out on comms and stuff? Before you
Come on,
quit?
you know you'd
for like
like-
old time's
It's,
sake?
It would be
Because in
fun for
theory,
all time.
you and I actually haven't played in game like ever.
Do
I've
you
flown
and-
with
do
Reese,
you-
You're
I've flown with
missing out all
Drayden.
the ass-eating conversations.
All right. Look. We need to
That
be able
happens
to
in everyone's
differentiate between what quitting means and what taking a fucking break and all that kind of fucking shit, right? It's like, I'm going to be honest. Where I come from, you're either all in on fucking EVE or you're fucking not. You're either fucking there to do something more than just fly a fucking fleet when Elo fucking calls one up, or you're not. And
Basically.
and I'm sorry, but it's like, yes, I could log in a fucking character and get in a fucking fleet and fly a fucking Munin with 17 different fucking characters. But you know what? What does that do? Am I just there to fucking talk with you? It's like, it is fucking
Just
different.
to hang out. We don't really hang out
We
unless
can
like
all
we're like
fucking
shit
hang out.
posting on Skype.
I'm gonna
It's
tell you
getting
right
generally
now.
drunk
what
on open
happens is
comms.
there.
you talk
There-
to people and you play the game and it's fun. And
There-
it's like,
there
wow,
are a few
this is
things
an
that-
exerting hour of my
You log
time
in,
that I
you
didn't
play
have
the
to
game,
think
you
about
talk to people, and it's
being
fun.
about
Which
working or
part?
doing shit that I don't
The
like.
game was fun. The talking to people was fun.
The whole
Oh.
So-
it's an experience.
So
It's an
so
experience.
hold
It's
on.
not just you're not going to get. It's not like if I puff on this, it's going to
They,
give
they
me
do a
high.
Jersey Shore
Bring
watch
back some
after
So-
fucking
Fleet Start.
meaningful nature of the game the way that it was.
Dirk,
Bam, I'm there with you, motherfucker.
Dirk,
Why do you
Dirk,
think it's not
what's-
me?
So what's
Alright,
getting me
agree.
right now is that you were saying that there's nothing in EVE that doesn't get your blood running. There's nothing that makes your adrenaline pump when you play this game anymore.
And don't
And
tell
there
me
are very-
fucking
I
solo
will say-
Don't tell me to buy Chester's
No, no, no,
character
no, no,
and just
no, no.
move into his
That's not
fucking
where
house.
I'm going.
But someone actually mentioned
No.
it.
That's not where I'm going with this at all. No, that's not where I'm going with this at all.
If you've got
It's
that
like
kind of
seriously,
money,
Where-
you should be
because
sending it
shit
to
is
me.
different in this game for everybody who fucking plays. The
So where I'm
strategic
going with this
nature
is
of
that-
shit going down out there in fucking space is what used to fucking matter to me. I was younger at the fucking time. I had
There's-
more fucking time to dedicate, all that kind of fucking shit.
There's only a few things in EVE that really I've been playing the game for quite a while, not since beta, but there's only a few things in the game now that really get your blood pumping, for me at least anymore. I'm a large scale FC. I've done the whole FCing caps. I've done FCing, but just this past week, moving a super through all the way around the outer edge of Nullsec, talk about getting your blood running. Like, it's not something that you do every day, but it's something that, what the heck, there's a saber chasing me through, the outskirts of this system through a pirate gate, that there's nothing like that anymore. There's not much that will get your blood running and adrenaline going like that anymore. I see what you're saying, and I know where
Well,
you're coming from, but there's something that you
One
have
of the
to...
really big things that I want to say is, look, I don't want to be the bitter fucking guy. That's not what I was over the years. Actually,
That's what you're doing right now, though.
yes, I am right now. Literally, Rain,
You're
as I'm
a
throwing
bigger
myself
man.
into a
You're a
temporary
bigger
casket.
man.
That's what I'm fucking being right now. But hold on. You miss it, though. I've
There's-
also been that fucking guy over other courses of the show while being the fucking devil's advocate. There are parts of me that are like, look, I want to pimp this game. I really do. I fucking do. This game is about a level of fucking excuse me, kind of what did I call it before? A simulator.
Social
This is a world simulator with a game front end. Okay, like
It's Second
that
Life in
is-
space.
I can't do a 5-minute kind of description of EVE Online. I've never, no matter how much I've talked about this game, I can't do a 5-minute description of EVE Online, but I can do a 5-second one, which is a fucking massive world simulator with a game front end. For all you motherfuckers out there, the game is the front end for what they're trying to fucking simulate out there. All right. That's how it fucking rolls. I think that is fucking beautiful. This is amazing what they've fucking created. And it will live forever because there will be people who want to live in this fucking simulator. There will be people who think that they are the kings, the fucking gods of this fucking simulation. All right. But that's what it is. And every once in a while, you need to take a step back. And what's easier for most people, and I'm going to tell you right now, for those of you who have been on this fucking show for any fucking length of time and will continue to into the future, all right, the hardest thing to step back from is the fact that you think you're out of the simulation, but you're still in the simulation.
It's like the
We
Matrix.
are
I
a
have
What
been
about you,
out of
Levin,
the
then?
simulation for too fucking long, but I'm still in the simulation.
Well, and the thing's like, I will say, like, sometimes you need a break. I mean, there was a good portion where I didn't log in at all for a long time, but like, I still did this show, but it's like there was a time where it's like it was not just a break. It was like I literally, like, other than coming on Friday nights, there was like a 5 or 6 month period where I just did not do anything with EVE. Period. And then I came back, and then that's kind of like when I got back into Black Legion, started playing more, started having fun. It's like I kind of needed the break. Like,
But you're a
it's-
part timer though. Honestly, if you're in
Yeah,
Black
I'm
Legion,
not-
hold on,
I'm
and
not
this is
in
not
every
shitting on
day.
fucking Black Legion. Okay, it's not, because number one, I love ELO. I love what Black Legion does. Okay, like, you know, although I think that they're being like I said it earlier tonight about whether or not different play styles in this game are getting fucked by like the way the game is fucking, you know, changing and shit like that. All right, I love what they do, but honestly, most of the F1 pushers in Black Legion, part timers.
It's
Yeah.
funny because like it's like they all have a coin in their back pocket or something, and when Elo logs into EVE Online, this coin starts lighting up, and everyone just merges back into Origin.
Then
It's-
again,
it's
And
more
it's
like
exactly-
we get a
whole bunch
buzz
of
on our
motherfuckers
phone
that
and a
don't fly
Discord
fucking
thing is the
locals and
Discord push
ratting fucking
notifications.
super
Like,
carriers.
But that's how any of these big guys are. I mean, that's how GigX, when GigX got banned, CO2 fell apart, and then he comes
Yeah.
back, and all of a sudden it's like they reform Voltron.
Well,
You know,
I
that's-
know.
that's how
I'm
some
just
of
saying,
these
it's like
guys are.
sometimes a break is needed. I mean, it's like EVE is not an exception to the rule that every single game people get burnt out on eventually. It's like you cannot play a game for like 50 years straight without a break and still.
I don't
enjoy
think
it.
any of us who've been playing for more than 10 years have not taken a break at any point.
Right.
I'm not trying to be a dick to Dirk. My point simply is we're all going to miss him, and we would rather that he be here than somewhere else.
I agree.
Or-
I agree.
I think
I
I think that it's time for a shot, even though he's
Regaining his love for the game.
yeah, we can do
Shots.
It's time for a
yes.
shot
Everyone
for
do
Dirk,
shots
so-
to Dirk.
Yes,
We're
I
gonna
Shots
do
agree.
for
shots.
Dirk,
even though
and
he's
interrupt us.
moved away from the computer. This shot's for Dirk. So
All right. Go ahead, Bristow. You were.
My point is simply that we want to help Dirk rekindle his love affair with Eve.
Can you help me? All I've been asking for all this time is, can you help me?
Dirk, you're more than
See,
welcome
honestly,
to come
you
and join
really
my
fucking
corporation,
can,
and I will
because-
rekindle your fire.
Dude,
Should
I
play
came
some
to your
Pink
house that
Floyd right
night
now.
looking for you to rekindle my fire, but like you didn't do it. So, anyways,
I'm sorry, there were too many potheads there.
Okay, all that being said, yes, I've got some surgery coming up. Fuck it, whatever. Surgery fucking happens. Okay, I'm not gonna be like a fucking mean Harry, like
I'm gonna
bitching
be
about
happy
how like
because
I've been
your
out of
back's
fucking
finally
work. For, like,
not going to be bothering you anymore. That's a good thing.
Yeah. Well, I
I've
mean,
done
yeah.
everything
all that
but
being-
that. So let's
wow,
do this.
God damn, that fucking like hit the back part of my
You
esophagus.
gonna be recovered enough
Am I
to go
gonna be
to
able to
EVE
do a shot
Toronto?
of Tito's like after this? That's what I want.
Well, that's the
Rain
thing.
is
I
When
should have
is
asked the
Toronto?
fucking doctor today.
So
yeah, are you going to Toronto then after
When
your
is Toronto?
surgery? We don't
know
know.
what Toronto is?
So I heard this morning
But cruises
CCP
in-
Guard on a Eve Australia or Eve Down Under stream, which is Australian. He said something along the lines of, by the end of the month, dates and locations should be announced. And I'm like, oh, thank fuck, so I can finally plan my 2019
That's just coming up in
vacations.
January. They're gonna do January.
Easter
fucking
games
Eve-
like normally
Eve
in like
FanFest
fucking
Toronto.
February or some
That
shit.
would be
So I have
holy
no
hell.
idea.
Cold as
Well,
fuck.
the summit is going to be in the middle of February, so I don't know when they're going to be doing the rest.
However-
Oh, so I don't know then, I guess.
Let me just kick back for just 1 second. If I was talking about quitting, I would have actually sat there and said, I'm fucking quitting. I've been telling my way for a while. I need to be fucking done with this. Okay. I'm going to be honest. I'm not fucking done with it. I do think that you guys need to find somebody else to fucking come on here. I don't give a shit. Bring LB back, whatever, you know, it's like bring people back who are sensible for the show and where the fucking show should be taken in the fucking future. Because honestly, the fucking crazy ass drunkenness of old man fucking Dirk needs to be fucking rolled the fuck out, okay? And have sensible drunkenness. But,
Push do.
but if I
It's
do
an
come
oxymoron,
back,
I think.
of course I'd want to come back and like fucking hang with you people and fucking hang with the viewers and all that kind of fucking shit.
You gonna
But
fly with us?
I am not gonna go come fly with you because
Come
like by the
fly
time I'm
with
fucking
us.
back, Elo,
Cue the
Elo's
song.
gonna be like
Come
Elo's gonna
on,
be
Dirk.
back at White
We need
Castle
your
doing whatever
super,
Elo
okay?
does. Okay, but I'm not sitting there saying I'm not pulling a fucking Chesser where I'm gonna fucking write up a fucking Reddit post about how like God and your mom helped me. Okay, it's like, although it did,
God and your
not
mom,
God,
too.
but like your
My
mom.
mom? My mom helped you? Oh man.
Okay, right. Well, actually, your mom in a way did, Rain. That's like, see, I wasn't even fucking.
My mom
lying,
wants
okay?
you and your wife to go on the cruise to Alaska with us.
Oh shit!
Yes!
So
That was
Yes.
a little weird.
That's
I
a
only
great
heard
way- that's a
my
great
mom
breaking
wants you
getaway,
and your
right?
wife.
I'm going.
But all right. Anyways, see, okay, now I'm getting off into retardo land, but
I have 3 minutes, so
I'm not sitting. Fuck 3
Where'd the
minutes.
time
You know what?
go? No, we
Where
can't.
did
It's
'cause
gone.
Where
I
did
stole
the
it
time
all.
go?
I stole it
By the
all
way,
at the
by
beginning
the
of
way,
the
I just
show.
want
Why is
everybody to
Ronald
know.
gone?
I want everybody to know that other talk show that
That
used to be
Ronald's
on
gone too.
like Saturday midday when
The
nobody knew
Insider.
what was happening is Push to Talk, right? That's what it's called, Push to Talk.
Insider. It's the Insider.
Oh shit! Fuck, did I fuck
Insider's
up?
on
No,
Mm.
Push to
Fucked
Talk
up?
is Eric Asmock.
Is it the Insider?
Yeah, the
or is it Push to
Insider.
Talk?
It's RuneShift Gaming, Cat Tutu. Although I think he's Kid Tutu now.
Oh, RuneShift's in that? See,
Yeah,
that's
RuneShift,
why.
Kid Tutu,
That's why he
uh,
retweeted my shit.
Drunk
a little while
Canadians
ago.
on it. Here
Anyways,
and there.
whatever.
Other people, but no. Push to Talk is Eric Asmock.
oh my god, Black Legion is fucking dunking in
I believe
04.
McLeod, you're on Push to Talk, right?
Every so often, yeah.
All that being said,
Yeah.
not quitting, taking a break. That I honestly right now hope results in just moving on to a quit.
Teslalands just lost a metric.
I'm gonna
fuck
try-
ton
A shit
of-
ton of
I'm gonna try to
Megatrons,
win.
Black
Falgorns,
Legion,
I'm gonna try to win.
Valgorns. We lost one Simi, a Saber. I fucking
Ouch.
love my
That's a
I
lot of
love my
Valgorns.
alliance.
Here's two.
Oh,
here's
man,
the
they're
one
so
shortest break
beating.
ever.
By the way,
Oh, God.
by the way, I really wanted to do a little bit of TV time tonight, but we can't do it. It's like, you know, I'm sorry.
Hold on. What's this about? Talking Stations has its own Twitch channel now.
Yeah,
All right.
Matterall tweeted that. Talking Stations has their
Talking
own
in
Twitch channel.
Stations, and I should throw this out there. Talking in Stations that you guys know, that all of you know, will continue to be on Sundays on INN and all that kind of shit. But anything extra that they do will be on Talking in Stations Twitch. Literally, if you spell it out, like twitch.tv/
Go ahead again, Fista.
Talking in Stations will be the place where they throw up some kind of like, you know, other content that they're going to have. They've obviously got their website out there. They're going to do some written content. It's not a competitor to INN. It is just something that Matterall, it's a project that Matterall is wanting to do where you can get more creative with what's going on and whatnot. And it's like, by the way, I'm not having neck surgery just so I can go over to that channel.
You sure about that?
Now, that would be a bit
I'm just saying.
extreme.
But would you get like
That
a
would
brace
be
so you could
really
stare at the
fucking
camera?
hardcore. And honestly, if I fucking did that, that would be like super shot worthy.
Can no, I won't even ask you. Never mind.
But
Never mind.
the other night we had a hold on. This is how bad it is. This is how fucking awful. This is how fucking awful they are over there. Like They did a show the other night. It was fucking, Artemis and, it was Silveranius.
I was wondering because you guys
What
were
was
talking
his
about
name?
that. I looked on INN
Oh, yeah.
VODs. I was like, I don't see
Yeah.
it.
So,
Yeah. There wasn't a VOD because nobody remembered to hit record on the whole fucking thing.
No.
okay?
Twitch
Or like that.
automatically
No.
makes VODs.
No.
Twitch
no.
auto records, but you need
They-
to actually set it to save the auto records.
You have to set
Oh,
it to
really?
save.
I never set my
okay?
channel.
There
on
was
like
no
does it.
save
It only
on
holds
the
it for
auto
a week
record,
and it's gone.
and therefore there was no podcast that could happen because rip down the fucking podcast. So therefore, the other night was just like a thing that happened, and nobody knew it unless you were there.
It was for the pure TIS fans.
Which sucks because I missed it because I usually listen to it the next day in my car.
Thanks, Brisk. Thanks for being a pure fan.
I know, right? I'm only an
Purist.
Angel patron or anything, so it's not like I, like the show or anything.
Oh man, people are still getting dunked. Oh, this is so good.
Is it pro?
I wish-
Pro God?
Are you guys like
So
uni-
someone in
unit
chat
dunking
said
people?
pro god.
No. She's
But we
watching
have
Ezekiel.
Black Legion, Pandemic Horde, and Pandemic Legion. All together, just hashtag dunking. I know Pandemic Horde has their own fleet, and I think PLBL are in the same fleet.
Man, who would have ever imagined though, like Pandemic Legion and Black Legion being like, yeah, let's fleet up together.
Yo, that's what happens when Elon
Like
has
2
that
years
hanging out.
ago, 3 years ago, if you had said
Do you-
that
do
was
you
gonna
guys
be a
actually
thing
see
now,
Hunter
people would be like, you're
Roy's
full of
VR in
shit.
his
Go fuck
face?
off. Like fuck you. You're a liar. Like it would never happen. And now here they are, just like, yeah, bro, let's go dunk
Elo and
together.
Headliner, they're best buddies.
Yeah, it's
Dude, they're not best buddies. They
They're best
hung out
buddies.
at the cabana. They
Um,
acknowledged each other through head nods.
They're
Did
best
you
friends.
not-
I think I saw a fist bump somewhere. I think there was a fist bump.
Look,
You
look,
guys miss them like making out at the bar and doing
Look,
karaoke.
they
and-
See,
weren't
there you
making
go. See,
out-
Rain is
they weren't
hanging out
making
a shit
They were
ton.
giving each other Canadian cheek kisses in Montreal.
No, there was tongue.
It's a bromance.
Actually, that
So
actually
it's
that
like
might have been
whatever.
at FanFest. I don't remember.
We've always known that about Elo.
Nothing has ever went wrong with an Eve romance.
Right.
I don't know.
These are
I don't know
terrible.
why in this day and age that
That
everything
was
has to
mean.
change
You
so
guys are
much that
terrible.
nobody understands.
Just-
how some of us
just-
change.
Just wait though, like
Some of us are just looking for other real men in Eve to like come up to them and be like, "But hey,
yeah, no, just hold on, just
what
wait.
about
Eventually,
this?"
it's gonna be like one of these
And that's where I
nights.
believe that,
PL's
like,
gonna come
Elo
home.
Came under the influence of a headliner.
No, Pandemic Legion's gonna come home. They're gonna find their bottle of vodka missing, and they're gonna look at Black Legion. And they're gonna be like, I don't know what happened to it. And then the divorce papers are gonna get sent, and it's just gonna go downhill from there. Like custody of Pandemic Horde is gonna be in question, and the judge is gonna have to go.
This is like some terrible like fanfic of like.
I'm just imagining as it goes, and it's actually quite entertaining.
Oh my god,
want
I
this
don't even
to
know what I
happen.
was saying. Whatever. By
See,
the way,
Gob-
there's
Gobbin's
this
going
other
up to
show
us saying,
talking about
was it-
other
was it
games
me?
that is
Was it
over on
something I
that fucking
did,
channel. We're gonna roll off here right now and go to our secret channel and talk about secret things.
That's right.
Mhm.
But you know what? I want to say peace out, later bitches.
Later,
Good night, everybody.
bitches.
Wait, what is it?
December
Later,
19th.
bitches.
It's like
bitches.
it's like still a ways
Bottle
away. Fuck it.
Shots, shots.
I'm gonna drink my way into that fucking day. We're all getting fucking annihilated.
Okay, so
bitches,
we gotta go
early
with
December.
a bang then. So like December 14th, prepare your livers, because they'll be dead. They'll be dead on Saturday.
Gonna get knocked up, Rain.
All right, peace out. We're going off to the super secret Batcave channel, and then yeah, see you there.